What's up? Mm, what's happening, man? Konnichiwa, man. Damn. Mm. She was killed at the club in Nashville. Damn. Mm. What's up? Thank you, man, for Don Wrinkles, man. Don Wrinkles in the building, man. He's called him a wigger. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him, man. Says let me see. Says Salisbury, okay, from Salisbury, North Carolina. Two killed in shooting on 3rd Street. So he was killed in a double homicide. Mm, mm. Who shot her, man? 20-year-old woman. Matthew Rowe, 22, was arrested in connection with her death. Mm. Uh, wow. Salute to Don Wrinkles, man. The gun memorial. Whew, excuse me. Excuse me. We did this kid. He was killed by another team. We didn't get a race on that team. We did that story the other day. Artist and master craftsman. 70-year-old David B. Tuttle, man. He was killed in an Atlanta carjacking. He was killed in an Atlanta carjacking by a 19-year-old from Texas. Jalen Mosley, Sun team, man. So that was a Sun team, man. Jalen Mosley, 19, was trying to steal Tuttle's car when he shot him. He was arrested shortly after the shooting. So Jalen Mosley killed this guy, man. Wow. From Houston. Jalen Mosley from Houston killed this guy. Shout out to Frank Unk, man. Daily reminder, Zanu Project Rethink. Yeah, the Zanu Project Rethink, man. Yeah, you've been saying that for a while, man. Wow. We may have to look at some of this, man. Damn. R.I.P. David B. Tuttle, man. A pure soul. Friends, family mourn the loss of 17-year-old shot and killed at Stroudsburg, Wawa. Oh, wow. It was in Pennsylvania. Wow. Wow. Shot in the neck. Later died at the hospital. Police say it began as a verbal altercation, which later turned physical and involved multiple people inside the store. So they have camera footage. Mm, he had a talent building with his hands. Mm. It also needs to be watched with panel is on for the low LOLs. Okay. Mm. Happened to Brandy and Melville, Manville. She was killed in a murder suicide. Okay. A murder suicide. Gary Knight. We don't have too much information on Gary Knight. Yeesh. Jasmine Cat Pringle. 2 people found dead, suspected murder suicide. Okay. Pat Jim Krasnicki. Woman kills husband and turns the gun on herself. Oh yeah, we did this the other day. Yeah, that chick model. She was a model. Yeah. Wow. Killed Toby Fisher, man. Mitchell Caddy. Mitchell Cady. He was killed in Wagoner County, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Mm. Michael Wilmot. Road rage shooting. Suspect taken into custody. He was Uber. He was an Uber driver killed in a road rage incident. Police are investigating a road rage shooting on Las Vegas Strip that left one man dead. He stayed in his car. It isn't worth someone's life. There's a lot of construction traffic down there. Just everyone be patient. None of this is worth your life over a road rage incident. Lieutenant Jason Johansson with the Las Vegas Police Department said. According to police, preliminary details of the investigation reveal that Monday afternoon, just after 4 p.m., a man revealed to be a rideshare driver was driving a Jeep Cherokee. Yikes. A Jeep Cherokee Uber? The fuck? With 2 passengers inside the vehicle heading northbound on Las Vegas Boulevard and Plaza Drive when a road rage incident occurred between a woman driving a silver Subaru sedan. Police say at the moment the man stepped out of his vehicle and went to the driver's side window of the sedan where the woman brandished a firearm and opened fire. Yeah, man, you gotta stay in your car, bro. Yeah, he got out of his car and approached the woman, left his Uber passengers in the car, went and approached her, and she smoked his ass. Damn. Mm. Wow. Um, Say the Zanu project.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for coming to host my show. I've read your notes and it's exciting. So please, let's get it going for the show.
Yeah, thanks so much.
All right. So I heard you said you have some issue with my stand that there is no such thing as white privilege. Can you let me know which part of it do you disagree or have issues with?
Sure. If you wouldn't mind just discussing just laying it out, what you believe, and then I can go.
I see. So it's not a question of belief because this terminology or whatever a phrase just started popping up not too long ago and is catching fire and on and on. And I have thought about a few things that I think we should discuss to find out if this is real or not real. And one of them is, what is that privilege that the white people have over others? What is it? Who gave it to them? Where did they buy it? Privilege is something either by birth, by social status, or maybe by inheritance. So what is it they have that we don't have? What is it that they have the privilege that we don't have? Those are the questions I think will make this conversation interesting.
Okay, that's fair. So I guess my definition of white privilege would be unearned benefits that you'd get from your status as a white person. That would be across a variety of different sort of domains: economic, educational, housing. That's basically, there are more as well, but that's essentially the gist of my definition. And who is it recognized by? Well, I guess it would be recognized by everyone. It's not something that's simply asserted. It's not something where folks just asserted that it exists and it happened. It's something it's a term that was founded in order to describe a specific phenomenon, and that society as a whole has a tendency to accrue certain benefits to white folks solely due to the fact that they're white. And it's easy to say, well, where does this come from? I think it comes from a white supremacist culture and how that culture sort of pervades every aspect of life and political systems and economic functioning and things along those lines. And it's something that no one can really escape from. Like
so you're saying that anyone who is born white would automatically have privileges. So the question is it man-made or is it natural?
Oh, it's absolutely man-made.
So how is it, if it's man-made, then why do we have to say that they have these privileges based on skin color? If it's man-made, then why can't blacks do the same thing? Why can't Asians do the same thing and have the same privileges? If it's man-made, then what prevents us from not having the privilege to do it?
I think that's a great question. On one end, society constrains us, and societal beliefs aren't just out of thin air or aren't poofed out of thin air or solely, inside of one particular person. It's the culture that you're exposed to. It's the institutions that you're exposed to. It's the ideologies that you're exposed to. It's a media culture where it's primarily run by white folks, it's primarily funded by white folks, and employed by white folks.
Well, this is a white country, right? It is a white country. We must agree. It is a white country. What I mean is that white people from other places came here, founded the place, made it into a republic, and then they attracted people from other places. But I'm thinking that people are saying we are not on the same level with white people, therefore they have a privilege. And what I am struggling with is this. You said it's man-made. If it is man-made, why can't the other colors do it too? That is one. How is it man-made? Now, let me ask you, do blacks give white people privileges?
Do blacks give white people? Well, no, it's not white people giving white people privileges or black people giving black people privileges. It's the entire societal structure as a whole that
you can get the privileges from that black people can't get the privileges.
These people are morons, man. The bald head guy got some sense, but the other guy's just, jeez, being a Dunsky, man. Let's see. Let's see where we gonna start today, man. Where are we gonna start today, man?
A Fox 5 exclusive tonight, a cannabis shop owner speaking out after thieves broke in and stole thousands of dollars of marijuana and other merchandise. He's sharing his story only with our Shamari Stone.
Tonight, this business owner wants your help catching the three suspects. They parked right here on Minnesota Avenue Southeast and walked right over here. Those surveillance cameras up there captured them going inside. Now, let's take a look at this surveillance video. Take a look at the dark-colored car shown on your screen. The suspects pulling up to Creep Smoke Shop on the 2900 block of Minnesota Avenue Southeast 2 weeks ago around 2:45 in the morning. The shop sells clothes and recreational marijuana. The three suspects get out of the car, breaking into the shop, running inside, stealing thousands of dollars in merchandise, going in and out. At one point, this video shows a guy pulling down a box, and then all the suspects run out, hopping back into the getaway car. The Creep Smoke Shop owner says the burglary is a shame.
To be in your own neighborhoods and have people attacking your store is just disheartening. It just put me in a bad space. Changing the appearance of my store. Now it looks a little less appealing from the exterior. I had to put up bars, having to just put out money to further secure my store, and that's just a tough thing to have to deal with during this time of the year.
Back outside in front of the smoke shop, you can see that the owner put up additional security, and look right over here, you have locks, and up there.
Yeah, man. Listen, should have. Good job. That's what you got to do, man. Your store's in Blackistan. It's next to a barbershop. It's in Southeast DC. Yeah, man. You got to do that. You got weed in there, man. You got weed inside there, man. You got clothes and shit. You got to do that, man.
Additional cameras. Police are offering a reward of up to $1,000 for information that leads to an arrest and a conviction in this case. In Southeast, I'm Shamari Stone. Back to you.
As the holiday season ramps up, Baltimore County Police say they will have more officers out at the Towson Town Center, especially after an armed carjacking last week and attempted carjacking in the parking garage, leading to the arrest of 5 teens.
Well, Fox 45's Jessica Babb joins us live to show us the number of crimes in that area have been going up. Jessica?
Yeah, Mary Kai, as far as the 5 teens who were arrested in that attempted carjacking, the Baltimore County State's Attorney says they were detained right after. There will be hearings to determine what happens next. But new police data shows that there have been hundreds of crimes happening here at the mall year after year, almost 500 of them this year alone.
Wait.
Taking steps toward the Towson Town Center, the busy shopping season is only beginning.
I'm here a lot.
For shoppers like Angela Johnson.
I really enjoy Macy's, and I also go to the arcade with my grandson a lot.
But after a myriad of crimes at the mall, some community leaders say others are thinking twice.
What we're starting to hear now is that people do not want to come to Towson Mall because they don't feel safe.
Based on data from police, here in the 800 block of Delaney Valley Road, which is where the Towson Town Center is, in 2021, which was during the pandemic, police responded to 269 crimes. In 2022, there were 425 crimes. In 2023, there were 551 reported crimes. And so far this year, with about a month left, there's been 400.
Well, it went down at least. Crime is down, y'all. Look, that's proof. That at this nice mall, this nice suburban mall, that it's only been 492 crimes, man. So crime is obviously down, man. Jeez, man. We changed the whole scale, man. There's no way it should be that many crimes at that mall, man, considering where that mall is. And are you going to tell us who's doing it?
192. Those crimes include everything from theft to assault. So far this year, there's been 35 assaults, 24 cases of destruction of property, 19 burglaries, and 13 robberies, which includes 2 carjackings. Those carjackings from November, where a person was hurt after an armed carjacking last week, and 5 teens were just arrested after an attempted carjacking in the parking garage. Baltimore County State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says in that case,
it's a very difficult crime for 2 people who are minding their own business at the shopping center, walking to their car, believe they're being followed, start running to their car, and then they get accosted while they're in the car. Fortunately, one of the victims in the car was able to dial 911. And once that happened, the potential defendants ran away.
As for the 5 teens who were arrested, including a 13-year-old.
They were being detained, and there'll be some more hearings over the next couple of days.
And while not all the crimes committed at the Towson Town Center have been at the hands of juveniles, as we've been reporting, many of them have been.
I'm not surprised at the state of things here, kind of in the nation.
But even with the new juvenile justice laws that went into effect in November, So far, State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says his office hasn't seen much of a difference just yet because police have to finish their investigation and the Department of Juvenile Services has to review the case.
The review process takes almost 30 days.
With December just starting, Schellenberger says they were expecting to see these changes in action in the next few weeks.
What I believe we will see is we will be receiving more cases in our juvenile system and be able to bring more cases to court to make it a more formal process.
As for the Towson Town Center, as police step up their patrols this holiday season.
I just pay attention, stay out in the daytime, watch your surroundings, and go out with somebody, and maybe stay out of nighttime shopping.
And even though minors are supposed to be supervised, yesterday I reached out to officials with the Towson Town Center to see how they plan to protect shoppers this holiday season. So far, I've yet to hear back.
How they plan to protect shoppers, man? We got to protect shoppers from teens, man. Wow. Jeez.
A Fox 5 exclusive.
We got to protect shoppers from teens, man. Update on this one, man. Make sure you hit the like button, man. Everyone smash the like button. We covered this case the other day, man. Let's see what the update is.
News at 6 starts right now with a breaking update on a story so many of you have been following. Prince George's County Police have made an arrest in the deadly shooting of a community activist. Thanks for being here. I'm Leslie Foster. This tragedy has really rocked the DMV community, and tonight police say they know who's responsible for this senseless killing. They say Terrell McDonald, who you see there on the left, is the one accused of murdering Cornelius McDonald. Investigators say he shot McDonald outside the popular restaurant.
Terrell McDonald and Cornelius McDonald, are they related? They could be, man.
Jasper's on Saturday, and they tell us the two men did not know each other. Our Alexis Wainwright.
Two McDonald's who didn't know each other. Wow, that's insane. That's so crazy.
Tonight, police say they know who's responsible for this senseless killing. They say Terrell McDonald, who you see there on the left, is the one accused of murdering Cornelius McDonald. Investigators say he shot McDonald outside the popular restaurant Jasper's on Saturday, and they tell us the two men did not know each other. Our Alexis Wainwright has been following this story from the very beginning. Alexis, I'm wondering how McDonald's family is reacting to all of this.
Well, Leslie, just a few hours ago, I was able to break the news to some of the family and friends of McDonald, and a lot of them say there is some relief after hearing about this arrest. Now, we want you to take a close look at your screens. We're showing you a picture of the suspect that was arrested. This is 35-year-old Terrell Bailey of Washington, D.C. He is charged with fatally shooting 33-year-old Cornelius McDonald.
Oh, Terrell Bailey. Okay, so she had messed up. This guy's Terrell Bailey in Washington, D.C. Okay. He shot.
Terrell Bailey of Washington, D.C. He is charged with fatally shooting 33-year-old Cornelius McDonald. Now, according to Prince George's County Police, the preliminary investigation revealed the suspect and the victim were both customers at Jasper's restaurant and got into an argument prior to the fatal shooting outside of the business on Saturday morning. Police say they did not know each other prior to this incident. Now, we first told you about McDonald Saturday as people across the region mourned a major loss in the community. He was known to many as just Neil. McDonald is being remembered as a father and pillar in this community who was passionate about working with kids and preventing the type of violence that took his own life. Now, we spoke with McDonald's cousin just a few minutes ago about the community tips that led to the arrest. Take a listen to what he had to say.
It kind of like gives me that indication that the community does stick together to a certain sense. And this was somebody that the community recognized that was for the good of people. So it had to happen. The Prince George's County Police Department knew he was for the good of people. So it had to happen to get the arrest done fast.
And now Bailey is facing charges like first and second degree murder and also other charges like assault. Now, Bailey is expected to be in court tomorrow for a bond hearing. Of course, we'll stay on top of this story and update you as we learn more. But tonight, again, a lot of people still mourning that loss, but a sense of relief after hearing about this arrest. Live in Prince George's County tonight, Alexis Wainwright, WUSA 9.
Wow. That's crazy, man. RIP to that man, yo.
A father making his first appearance in court today after he was charged for the murder of his 9-year-old son. Good evening once again, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Robert Kovacic. Nicholas Jones pleaded not guilty to that murder charge and the allegation of child abuse resulting in death.
NBC4's Alex Rozier in the courtroom today. He joins us live.
I News at 6 starts.
Guilty in the murder. I don't even want to see that shit. Let's see. Oh, Tiffany Henyard. I stopped covering this woman.
Breaking news tonight from suburban Thornton Township.
I stopped covering her because it was so ridiculous. I stopped covering Tiffany Henyard. It was so ridiculous, man. Like, she's so off the charts ridiculous, man. It's very hard to even cover her, man, because it's like she's like a caricature.
Breaking news tonight from suburban Thornton Township. More drama for embattled supervisor Tiffany Henyard.
And WGN's Jenna Barnes is live in Homewood with more details for us right now. Jenna.
Ray and Micah, we were promised a raucous caucus, and indeed, that is what we witnessed. Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard, who was appointed to that position tonight, lost her bid for the Democratic Party's nomination in this rarely used political process. It now appears if she wants to run for supervisor again, it will have to be as a write-in candidate.
Wow.
That is the sound of an auditorium full of Tiffany Henyard opponents rejecting her nomination for Thornton Township Supervisor in the party's first township caucus in decades.
Why you ain't let the people be heard?
As she protested the process, arguing her supporters were still waiting to be let inside.
Guys, have a good night, eat the food, and be merry. This meeting is adjourned.
The meeting lasted only moments, but it was strategized beforehand. State Senator Napoleon Harris is the Democratic committeeman for Thornton Township. He alone decides whether to hold a primary election or a caucus. Amid the turmoil tied to embattled Supervisor Henyard, Harris chose a caucus and won the nomination.
Democratic nominee for supervisor is Napoleon Harris.
Henyard walked out of the meeting and into a waiting SUV without speaking to us, but here's what she said before the caucus began.
They can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls.
What do you do tonight if you don't get the Democratic Party's nomination?
What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not going to go nowhere. The show will go on.
Her allies now figuring out their next steps.
This is the biggest. This is the biggest. This is a fraud.
To fight the result.
This is criminal. I would easily say hundreds of people that were not allowed in to be a part of the process.
And we did hear quite a few complaints tonight that Henyard opponents were allowed inside before her supporters. We know there was an event going on before the caucus began. Napoleon Harris's attorney told me that was a Democratic Party fundraiser, although Harris himself said it was not a fundraiser. So that's something that will certainly be examined in the coming days. I am told, though, that those people who were let in had their IDs checked to make sure that they were registered Democratic voters who live in Thornton Township. We're live in Homewood tonight. Jenna Barnes.
Okay, so wow. Oh yeah. Let's check this out. This is an update from yesterday.
Tonight, we are learning more about one of the people killed in a shooting outside of an event hall where a baby shower was taking place. Another person died as well, and 2 others were hurt. Police are still looking for those responsible.
Sophia Hernandez is live in Hollywood where all of this happened. And Sophia, what have you learned so far?
Yeah, we know that 2 people have lost their lives. One of them was from Miami Gardens, and now his family is asking for support. A GoFundMe honoring the life of Octavius Jackson, one of the 2 lives lost early Sunday morning at JC Hall in Hollywood, Florida. Police say as hosts were cleaning up after a baby shower, a fight outside of the venue led to a shooting.
I was pretty shocked because
Nothing like that has ever happened, but this was quite the mess.
The event manager stated roughly 80 people were here celebrating the shower and a 10-year anniversary. Post from a Miami Carroll City 1998 reunion group sharing Octavius Jackson was a football player known as OJ and the Juice and became a father, friend, and working man. The group also sharing that another alumni who was also a father and friend to many lost his life. Police are still investigating what led up to the shooting and whether any of the baby shower attendees were injured or involved in the shooting. Police say they have identified persons of interest, but as of Monday night, no arrests have been made.
Wow.
Now, the event manager says that no guns are allowed on the premise.
So there was no cooperation. No one's cooperating. Because there were so many people there. No one's cooperating. That's all that's telling me. No one's cooperating. No one's cooperating. That's what that's telling me. 80 people at a baby shower, and nobody wants to tell the police what happened. Oh, here's the mass shooting from yesterday.
Well, tonight, the Cook County medical examiners identified
the mass shooting from yesterday in Chicago. That went wholly unreported. Everyone hit the like button, man. Hit the like button. Take the $5 challenge via PayPal, Cash App, or the Super Chat. Support the channel. Let me drop the link, man. Continue to hit the like button, man. Everybody, smash, smash, smash the like button. Let's see. Subscribe to the channel too if you haven't. Hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when I drop new live streams. Let's go. The mass shooting in Chicago.
identified 2 of the 3 people killed in a shooting in Chicago lawn yesterday.
Police still investigating what happened leading up to that deadly shooting. WGN's Brona Tumulty has details.
Good evening, guys. As you know, 8 people were shot in that house on West 59th Street on Monday evening. 3 of those people have passed away. We now know the names of 2 of them, even as police say no arrests have been made in the case.
Right now, we're working to connect with those victims through the hospitals that we received notice that they went to.
Calvin Brown is the Assistant Director of Outreach at the Southwest Organising Project, a group that puts boots on the ground at the scene of a crisis.
We were out there to see what happened, how could we connect with the families or anybody who knows the victim.
Brown was in Chicago lawn Monday evening after 8 people were shot inside a West 59th Street home, 3 of them fatally. 2 of the deceased have now been named by the medical examiner as 28-year-old John Carlos Blancarcer and 26-year-old Hector Sajo.
Heard many, maybe
Burritos.
10, over 10 shots. I just heard like screaming, people like running out the house screaming.
Gunshots and screams of terror, the stuff of nightmares for many. But El Towers, who grew up here, says it's mere habit, not horror.
Hopefully the city of Chicago could combat the crime. because it's been bad like this ever since I was a kid. Things haven't changed out here.
But CPD data shows strides are being made. Across the city, overall crime is down 11%, and specifically in the 8th Police District where this happened, it's dropped by 7%. If you focus on things like murder and shooting incidents in this area, both have also decreased by almost a fifth on last year's numbers.
We are making those headways. We do work with the 8th District to help try to assist them and helping curb the violence around here.
With Brown adding, for the incidents that will undoubtedly still happen in a city the size of Chicago, help is just a phone call away.
To those neighbors who feel that there's no help, there is help. We're here and we want them to know that we're here.
Now, we reached out to the 14th Ward Alderman, Helu Gutierrez. She had no comment for us today. Neither did the home.
Yeah, man, that Irish accent is thick, man.
I like it. It's funny. It's a couple Irish people that's starting to live by my way now.
Oh,
They're
really?
starting to move. Yeah, I was surprised.
Wow. Off to Jackson, Mississippi, man. Africa.
Real quick. Yo, you know what? I made one of my a couple of my football players like look up. Remember Ray Caruth?
Yeah.
Yo, they was like, cause I was telling them be careful when they go to college, you know, with their scholarship, and they were like, they couldn't believe, like, yo, he went through that length. No, cause you know they're a little younger. They never heard of him.
Wow.
So I was telling them to be careful, but y'all don't have to go through that extreme.
Yeah, I mean, Ray Caruth, man, he's home now. That's the crazy. He's been home for a few years.
He live in your state. Yeah, he live in your state too. 3 years ago, he live in PA.
Wow. Yeah, he's home. He did 20 years.
I think
wow,
20 years or 18. Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, the hitman snitched on him. It was a big mess, and the baby mother died, but the child lived. It was a big old mess. They found him in the trunk of his car. That was back when the NFL, man. You had that. You had Ray Lewis incident. You had a lot going on.
He had a lot. He had a lot, and he was a part of that Colorado, that great football team, that great Colorado team, with Cordell Stewart, him. They all came from that class.
Yeah, the 90s. Colorado in the 90s was had a lot of good teams, man. Yeah, they look like they back on their way, man. Back in the stride again, man. Man, let's see. Let me see. Where do I want to go with this? All right, we'll go here with it.
The sheriff's deputy who shot and killed Sonia Massey could soon be released.
Hold on, we're gonna get into this Sonia Massey thing. Hold on, let me go run and get a water. I'll be right back. Hold it down for me, Ma. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh man, so yeah, that was fast.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
The sheriff's deputy who shot and killed Sonia Massey could soon be released with conditions. All of this as he awaits trial.
Oh my God, he could be released. Good thing Trump won. Good thing Trump won, man.
The sheriff's deputy who shot and killed Sonia Massey could soon be released with conditions. All of this as he awaits trial. The Illinois State Attorney of Sangamon County reacting in a statement earlier today saying Sean Grayson has been granted pretrial release by an appellate court panel, but plans to file a request to the Supreme Court and ask that Grayson remain detained. This comes ahead of the former deputy's court appearance tomorrow. He faces first-degree murder for shooting Massey in her kitchen after she called 911 about a possible intruder. Joining me now is criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor Bernardo Villalona. I apologize, Bernardo.
Yeah.
Let's get started here. There was a unanimous decision found by the district appellate court that previous ruling in July to detain Sean Grayson be detained was improper. What did the prosecution fail to do or fail to prove in order for the district appellate court to decide this?
So the district appellate court is saying that the prosecution failed to provide sufficient evidence to show that there exists no other terms in order to prevent the dangerousness to the community, because the purpose of having him pretrial detained is if there's a danger to the community where nothing that's put in place of having Grayson free to the community will prevent that type of danger from happening.
Well, Bernardo, the opinion also ordered a hearing for his release upon suitable conditions. What could these conditions include?
So these conditions can consist of having electronic monitoring placed on him, having to be in the home for a certain amount of time, preventing him from actually being outside of his home except for probably medical treatment or to appear in court or to meet with his attorneys. And also, if there's any need for him to be outside, he'll have to get pre-approval. But of course,
we did the Damian McDaniel story the other day, man. Salute to you, Rabbit Hole Reviews. I'm gonna drop that video soon, but we already did it we did it like 2 lives ago.
Of course, the electronic monitoring is one of those main conditions that are usually set. I'm surprised here because I would have thought because of the charge itself, first degree and murder in the first degree, that he would be detained just simply on the charge itself because of the egregiousness of that charge and the allegations where he actually shot Sonia Massey in the face in her own home.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what your take was on this. What is the prosecution saying about all of this? And does this pose a potential setback in their case against Grayson?
Well, the prosecution has vowed to appeal this to the Illinois Supreme Court. The question would be is whether the district court will grant the defendant to be released in the meantime while it's being appealed to the Supreme Court of Illinois. It doesn't actually set back the prosecution in terms of whether he's out in the street or whether he's in custody, because the prosecution is going to continue. They'll continue to be preparing their case, preparing their witnesses, so when the trial actually takes place. So it's not a major setback for the prosecution. But of course, as a prosecutor, it's always easier and better when the defendant is in custody.
All right, Bernardo, before I let you go, I want to ask you about the subway chokehold case. We know jurors are expected to hear closing arguments on Monday in the homicide trial of Daniel Penny. Of course, he's the veteran who put Jordan Neely allegedly in that fatal chokehold on a New York City subway car last May. What do you think prosecutors and the defense are going to say to jurors?
Well, the defense is going to argue to the jury that the cause of death was not due to the chokehold, but rather a combination of actually him having drugs in his system, of him being a schizophrenic, and from him also suffering from sickle cell anemia. Now, in terms of the prosecution is going to argue that he wasn't justified. He wasn't justified in the sense of holding Mr. Neely with a chokehold for over 5 minutes, that it was excessive. While he may have been justified initially, he wasn't justified for that extent of time, especially given that there was no one else left on that train and that the only people that were on the train is the defendant plus 2 other people. So there was no longer a threat and no longer a need.
What does she sound like when she said this? The chokehold might not have done it. It might have been drugs in the system.
Yeah, that do sound like St. Floyd, man. But this one right here, this one's gonna be he's a citizen. He's still a white man, so there's still that like kind of like the man type thing going on. I think they're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to see Trump maybe try to pardon him, but I think they're gonna convict him. What do you think?
I think he's gonna be innocent.
Yeah, I think he definitely getting convicted.
Yeah,
They throwing that nigga under the jail.
I don't. I'm gonna go the other way.
yeah. I mean, listen, I just can't see them. A jury that those juries to find a jury of non-wokesters in New York is pretty tough, man. He's black. He was Michael Jordan Jackson impersonator. He was also a career criminal, which is something that those people up there like. They love that, you know. Yeah, he checks a lot of boxes. The victim, and the perpetrator, he's white. You know what I'm saying? Like he's white, so it's like I don't think they're going to give him like 20 years. I think they'll convict him of something like manslaughter. I think he'll do 8.
Yes, manslaughter.
Yeah, 8 years.
Going to argue that he wasn't justified. He wasn't justified in the sense of holding Mr. Neely with a chokehold for over 5 minutes, that it was excessive. While he may have been justified initially, he wasn't justified for that extent of time, especially given that there was no one else left on that train and that the only people that were on the train is the defendant plus 2 other people. So there was no longer a threat and no longer a need to use deadly physical force on Mr. Neely.
And we'll certainly see how those closing arguments play out. Bernarda, thank you so much for weighing in on this.
Smashing the one on the left.
Y'all get ready? Yes, you.
Oh yeah, that Soul Sister. Yeah, I smashed that Soul Sister, man.
I'll definitely spinning her butt for sure. Yo, it's cracking, Merc.
Now at 4, a man
What's up, brother? What's up?
Shit, man, ain't nothing.
Now at 4,
Ain't
a
a
man
thing but a
accused of
chicken
lighting
wing.
a house on fire in a domestic dispute leads police on a high-speed pursuit and kills an innocent woman when that pursuit ends in a rollover crash. Good afternoon. This is the KTLA 5 News at 4. I'm Samantha Cortese.
And I'm John Finolio. A woman is dead and 2 other people are in the hospital this afternoon following that crash in Fountain Valley.
KTLA's Gene Kang is live there with new details on what led up to this deadly crash. Gene, hello.
Sam and John, as you see right here, this is such a tragic crash we're talking about. This is where it ended in Fountain Valley, and it is still an active scene. As you see, the tape is up. Those 2 vehicles in the middle of the street. Police say it killed an innocent 25-year-old woman, as you mentioned, and seriously hurt 2 others. Such a bizarre story. Police say it all started with a suspect setting his family's house on fire. Officials say a horrific crash in Orange County killed 25-year-old Hong Nak Wen, who was visiting from another country.
Damn, he killed the Asian woman who was visiting from another country.
And who was visiting from another country.
Absolutely mortified.
Man, that shit.
Disgusted.
Shit crazy.
So sad and heartbroken for that family.
Police say an arson suspect, 43-year-old Timothy Cole, led them on a wild pursuit. Starting around 7:30 last night on Arches Court in Huntington Beach, Cole allegedly set a bush on fire during a domestic dispute, which quickly spread to...
That's a son, man. You see them little ankles? That's a son, man.
...to the house. This is Shane Schmidt. His fiance is Cole's sister. He caught it on Ring video.
I saw the person that I know to be my future brother-in-law light my house on fire.
Last night, he came with some kind of accelerant and attempted to light the property on fire.
He says Cole has history, but wouldn't elaborate.
No, I won't comment on his personal. He's got some struggles.
After family put out the fire, Cole took off speeding in a white Dodge Ram pickup truck. Officers found his empty vehicle in a parking lot on Brookhurst Street.
She was a tiger?
The innocent woman, yeah. The innocent woman that got killed.
Officers found his...
He could have glider, but it looks like it.
That's a glider for sure.
Yeah, I think it could be a glider.
That's
empty vehicle in a parking lot on Brookhurst.
Not burnt. New guy in the back, but damn, he rocked her whole day up. That's crazy.
What do you mean?
Nah, he just say the R instead of the F.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you rocked her whole day. I was
First
trying to be
Street around
funny,
10
man. I
p.m.
guess it ain't
when the
hit,
car
bro.
jumped in
Yeah,
and
more her
drove off,
day. Yeah, more than
leading
her
to a
day, bro.
high-speed pursuit. He blew through a red light by Ellis Avenue, Magnolia Street, before tragically crashing into a white BMW with 3 victims inside, when a passenger lost her life. 2 others were hurt and rushed to the hospital. The suspect later arrested at a trauma center. As you see behind me, the traffic is being diverted because that scene is still going on. As for any charges that Cole may face, police say that's in the hands of the DA's office, but they expect some serious charges going forward. Reporting live here in Fountain Valley, Gene King, KTLA 5 News.
Now to an update on Multnomah County's drug deflection program. That's the new system designed to offer people a choice of treatment and services instead of jail when they're caught with hard drugs like meth or fentanyl. Counties across the state started their deflection programs on September 1st as part of Oregon's recriminalization of drug possession. Multnomah County opened its facility called the Coordinated Care Pathway Center on October 15th, following renovation and staffing delays and pushback from neighboring community members. County officials say the number of deflections continues to increase, but it's still too early to analyze outcomes. I'll get to that in a bit. But first, here's a quick look at the data that we do have. 127 people started deflection between September 1st and November 15th. About 74 people were referred to the Pathway Center in its first month of operation, and most of those people started deflection. Overall, the program has provided 268 referrals to
I'm taking deflection every time. Yeah, man. You mean I don't have to go to jail?
What the fuck is?
Of course.
Fuck is a deflection process? What the fuck is that?
Yes, they send you to treatment.
Deflection participants for services. An individual can receive multiple referrals for things like sobering, detox, outpatient treatment, peer services, or housing. Here's Bernard Gibby Foster, who leads the organization that's running the Deflection Center.
To our knowledge, these referrals are going smoothly.
Oh, man.
And those who have followed up on their referrals have been able to access
They
services.
got this
Again,
It's going to be a disaster.
it is going to take time
Nigerian
to have a
scammer.
true sense of participants' outcomes. But at this early stage, we are confident in the services we are providing at the center and encouraged by participants' willingness to accept referrals to recovery.
My question prompted that answer there because I asked about outcomes. Which types of referrals are being given and which are being used? Is mostly detox, housing referrals, which are successful? The county says it is tracking that, but it's too early to share.
I mean, this stuff is impossible. Let's be honest. Like, you're dealing with hardcore Portland drug addicts. These people on all the hard stuff.
Yeah, we saw him. What was like a couple weeks ago, man. They choose this life, bro. They choose drugs over being a functional, productive citizen, bro.
Yeah. This is gonna be hard. This is hard. I don't know how you fix this, man. You can't fix this. You can't fix this, man.
You can see here at about 7:54, things are fairly calm,
Seconds later, what appears to be chaos.
but then they go running from Rebel.
This is surveillance video from the Soldiers and Sailors Monument. Greg Palumbo, the executive director, went to the Winterland tree lighting with his family after wrapping up visits with Patriotic Santa.
The square was full. We had a pretty good amount of people here at the monument, so it was a very happy, festive atmosphere.
He says his family felt safe.
There's been a noted difference. It has a much safer feeling downtown than it has, the last couple of years.
But downtown Cleveland, which upgraded security like this new smart camera, closed down the ice rink 2 hours early Saturday.
The fireworks went off, the event ended, and then, everyone kind of went home, and then all that remained were
sun tees.
Yeah, so we're like installing high quality like sun monitoring technologies.
Yeah,
which won't stop it, by the way. It'll just like record the evidence.
Exactly. It ain't stopping shit.
The fireworks went off, the event ended, and then, everyone kind of went home, and then all that remained were
ugly
a
ass
lot of
nose.
juveniles that were just hanging out in the area.
Police Chief Annie Todd says what started
They're always
with girls
ugly.
fighting
Even once we do
rolled
this.
into other fights among other groups of teens.
Personal conflicts, I think, is more than anything else.
Officers and deputies helped break up the fights and move the teens out of public square. Violence interrupters from City Hall also stepped in.
These kids see these same people in their schools and in their neighborhoods, and they have a different relationship than law enforcement does.
Last year, gunfire wounded 2 teen boys after the tree lighting. Another teen was just sentenced
So
for
wait a
shooting
second.
into a crowd. Greg talked.
There was violence last year at the Christmas tree light. Yeah, this is crazy. A city can't even have a Christmas tree lighting. That's supposed to be like, you know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be family, hot chocolate, eggnog. What the fuck?
That doesn't mix with like a certain proportion of Sun people, and it doesn't have to be a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, if they shooting up funerals, then I mean,
All it takes is one son to ruin all the fun.
Wow, this is absolutely astonishing. I didn't know they had it. Like, there's a consistent violence, a history of violence at this thing.
Also stepped in.
These kids see these same people in their schools and in their neighborhoods, and they have a different relationship than law enforcement does.
Last year, gunfire wounded 2 teen boys after the tree lighting. Another teen was just sentenced for shooting into a crowd. Greg talked with me then about how kids would get off buses in public square after school and linger, sometimes fighting. He says the violence interrupters made a marked improvement.
They have done a terrific job of being in the schools all the way to being here on the square after school and really heading off those problems before they start.
Still, Chief Todd says they've asked before and ask again that parents bring their kids to events like this.
And I think parent involvement and having that would be probably the best way to remedy this, because we had several hundred juveniles, but there was no parents there.
Greg hopes parents
Wow.
and teens will have an honest discussion.
Not supposed to
about-
need parents like that.
You gotta now you gotta have these big ass teens getting chaperoned everywhere.
Yo, and like they don't fucking listen to their parents anyway, so like that doesn't matter.
You're gonna have a bunch of big mamas in close proximity. That sounds like it's gonna ratchet things up even more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the violence
insane.
interrupters are former ex-cons, so it's just not really working.
Yeah, the police are like, the villains.
Yeah.
It's just a combustible. It's a oh, God, it's a mess.
Like this lady's using the coded language, right? Like, oh, we have people that relate better to these juveniles instead of the police. So, I mean, like black people clearly can't police themselves. So we're kind of fucked in no man's land here. There's no like solution.
Right. Shit, man.
In May of 1980, the worst serial killing spree in Toledo started. The Cook brothers terrorized young couples.
Yeah, parents warned their teens not to be out after dark during this period. At least 9 people at the hands of the Cooks were killed. In 2018, Nathaniel Cook was paroled, and now his older brother Anthony is set to have a parole hearing. And this is raising the possibility of the brothers being reunited in their hometown.
Lead investigator Brian Duggar has the story.
I would tell him I hope he rots in hell.
He is somebody that probably should stay in jail until his last breath.
Wow.
This guy will never stop killing.
This guy is Anthony Cook, likely the most prolific serial killer in Toledo history. By the time police caught him in 1981, Anthony killed 9 people.
All white people. Wow. They're not going to say that.
They're
In this
not gonna.
racist country,
They're not gonna ascribe any racial motivation to this at all.
it's a coincidence.
It's a coincidence he killed all white people. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like when they talk about the serial killer before I saw him, even in my mind, even I know this is bullshit, but I still attributed that a white person would be the most likely serial killer, even though I know it's wrong if you look at like the per capita data. So that's how that's how many brain worms they have. People like living in people's brains, even on Aug Nation.
Yeah. This is so he killed all these people in 1980. His brother was involved. His brother's home, and now he's gonna become home probably.
Dude, Sons have been doing this to like white folks for forever. Like this is not a new thing.
Damn.
Yeah, Sons have been
1,
owning
2,
firearms
3,
for a very long time.
12. Damn. 12 for 12. Unless these are some of the same people. I don't know. It just looks like, yikes. What are the odds, man? What are the odds that he didn't kill one Asian, one Hispanic, one black, just all white?
Yeah.
Nick Tao's back.
Wow.
Javon's in the back.
Yeah. That's
by accident.
Wow.
This guy is Anthony Cook, likely the most prolific serial killer in Toledo history. By the time police caught him in 1981, Anthony killed 9 people, possibly many more. For more than a year, he and his brother, Nathaniel, terrorized the streets of Toledo.
He's the worst individual, human being I've ever seen, talked to, known, investigated. He is the worst.
I've been doing this job for 48 years.
But he's not
I've
racist?
not seen too many that are worse than Anthony Cook.
And on December 5th, the parole board could return him to his hometown.
We didn't have the death penalty back then, so they didn't get the death. He didn't get the death penalty. We didn't have life without parole then, so he didn't get life without parole. So he got a sentence that ended with life, but that it had a fixed amount of years. And so that allows him to be eligible for parole. It doesn't mean he'll get parole.
Earlier this month, Bates and family members met with parole board representatives. Every 10 years, a scab is pulled off. Cook has a hearing. But this time, it felt different for Steve Moulton, the brother of Scott Moulton, who was killed by Cook in 1981.
Everything that we learned up until the other day was Anthony Cook is in jail for the rest of his life, period. You know, these parole hearings are going to come up because it's his right. But what we learned is that that's not 100% accurate.
Beginning in May of 1980, Anthony and Nathaniel Cook stalked couples who dared to be outside after dark.
He used different weapons to kill the people each time, trying to throw us off. Very careful about their fingerprints and that kind of thing. Because
wow, use different weapons each time. Shit. I mean, like, Jesus Christ, diabolical.
we did have fingerprints back then, but we didn't have any DNA or anything we could work with.
Anthony abducted Scott Moulton and his friend Denise Sikowski in March 1981. They were sitting in their car at an Oregon apartment. Anthony Cook raped Denise and shot them both.
I can't even fathom what my parents went through. To be, they were in a group. People are in PTA and they're sports boosters. Imagine yourself being in a group called Parents of Murdered Children.
Every murder was vicious, none more so than the killing of Dawn Backus. Anthony scooped up the 12-year-old girl off a street near Bancroft. He and Anthony took her to the abandoned State Theater, raped her, and killed her.
Now, they don't get much worse than that with a little 12-year-old. Pick her up off the street and to do that to her. So they were the most cold-blooded, especially Tony, of all. I've handled thousands. I've had a lot of murders, brutal murders. I've never seen anything like that. And, you know, I couldn't sleep at night. I got to the point where I hated to go to work when I was working on the series because I knew it was going to be another one.
Nathaniel then stopped killing Anthony Dent, taking at least 6 more lives without his brother. The spree stopped in the fall of 1981. Anthony Cook found Lisa Sawicki and Todd Sabo inside a van near the Ottawa Hills police station. He attacked and tied them up, but Todd got away and freed Leslie. She ran to a nearby apartment and called her father, Peter.
The double shooting took place here, just a quarter of a mile from the Ottawa Hills Police Department. In fact, the village police were one of the first notified about the attempted rape.
Peter Sawicki arrived before police, and Anthony shot and killed him, leaving Todd shot and wounded.
There was a small tree, and he pointed out to me a brown paper bag, and he said that the weapon that killed Mr. Sawicki was in that bag.
Police arrested Cook a month later after an informant reached out to former Detective Frank Stiles, who had a surprising conversation with the serial killer at the police station.
And he says, what do you think? He said, with all your experience, do you think that a guy that could do this kind of thing would ever be able to get out on parole?
I said, hurry, we have to call the police. I said, this man tried to rape me.
I know we got down to the ground. I can't recall exactly how we did.
In March of 1982, with Leslie and Todd testifying, a jury convicted Cook of Sawicki's murder. Shockingly, Anthony took the stand.
Did you see this on morning September 18, 1981?
Wow.
Did I see it the morning of September 18, 1981? Yes. Yes. Where'd you see that? I seen it in my car. You saw this in your car? Yes. What was it doing in your car? I had shot Sawicki. Pardon? I had shot Peter Sawicki.
For more than 15 years, police didn't know Cook's partner in his early crimes until Bates suggested using DNA. She learned about it at a conference where the Sam Shepard case was discussed.
I went to bed, and I tell you what, trite as it sounds, I woke up, it was 3 a.m, and I just was wide awake, and I was like, wow, if they can do this in Cleveland with Sam Shepard, we can do this with the Cooks.
DNA from a previous rape matched Anthony, and it also matched his younger brother, Nathaniel. The Cooks cut a deal. Would tell you our victims, Nathaniel gets out in 20 years.
I picked up a pipe and hit her with the pipe. She fell.
On April 3rd, 2000, the brothers gave chilling details about their crimes.
If I tied anybody up, I always took the bindings away.
He would talk just like you and I are talking. Very cool, collect, cold, show no emotion. You know, he was a psychopathic killer. You know, he didn't have any feeling, you know, about killing. He enjoyed it. Tony Cook enjoys killing.
In 2018, Nathaniel Cook walked free. He lives in Toledo in the shadow of the old West End Academy.
You think, oh, 20 years, that's a really long time. He's going away. We'll never have to think about this again. And then all of a sudden, 20 years is up. And now he's coming home. It was very hard for them. It's hard for me. So we keep the pictures on the wall in the office so that we remember, that we never forget.
Nathaniel's big brother could soon join him on the outside.
It would be ludicrous. It would break the barrier of common sense. And from that point of view now, I can't see him getting out.
He's just a cold-blooded murderer. If they would let him out on parole, it wouldn't be any time hardly he would kill somebody. There's not a question in my mind.
What's your message to the community? Is he going to get out?
Well, my message is, let's hope not. I don't think so. And it's everything that I believe. I've been doing this job for 48 years. You know, I've not seen too many that are worse than Anthony Cook. And those people are still locked up. And I think he probably will be as well. I'm fairly confident that that's what will happen.
If you could tell Anthony Cook anything, what would you tell him?
I would tell him I hope he rots in hell. He's going to pay for his crimes one way or another, and if he feels like he's paid for them now, wait till the next life.
Wow. There is so much more to this story. That is why we have put together an hour-long program on WTOL 11 and also our YouTube channel.
If you are outraged or even frightened by the thought of Anthony Cook being released, we have an address on WTOL.com to write to the parole board.
I do want to mention before we go any further, this is one of those periods. I grew up here in Northwest Ohio and Southeast Michigan. I remember as a child these frightening moments for families, for parents, as this traveled through the news. There was also another, following the Cook brothers, believe it or not, there was another serial killer who worked around 6 different states, including the Toledo area. Alton Coleman and Deborah Brown went on a massive killing spree around 6 states. So there were these pockets of moments throughout our history here in Northwest Ohio.
Alton Coleman and Deborah Brown, they better not be sons either.
No, probably not.
So I was trying to get in the big leagues.
We've been in the big.
Yeah. You are the.
No, I'm talking about the serial killer big league. But I think we got the.
No, you are.
We do got we got the record with the some guy. He got the record. Some guy.
Yeah. Samuel Little. Here they go. Here they go. Right here. Here go Alton Coleman and Deborah Brown. Oh, he got executed already. Alton Coleman, and Deborah Brown. Jeez. So they were black too.
So this is Sunman, Bonnie and Clyde.
The pattern seems to be that while Coleman, accompanied by Brown, perpetrates acts of violence against almost anyone he comes in contact with.
Authorities believe Coleman began his spree of murder and rape at the end of May, when he allegedly abducted 2 little girls in Gary, Indiana. One just raped and beat. The other he also murdered.
She had multiple contusions about her. She had a cord around her neck, and she had a footprint on her chest, and her right hand was tied with evidently a piece of her shirt.
The day after 7-year-old Tamika Turks was found in Gary, the body of another child, 9-year-old Vernita Wheat, was found in Kenosha, Wisconsin. The 9-year-old was the daughter of a woman Coleman had become friends with. Coleman seems to have a special way of luring children into his death trap.
With candy or frankfurters or
glizzies,
some similar inducement which would appeal to very young children.
He will go into neighborhoods in order to get whatever items he needs for survival. This is independent of his effort to obtain young black girls.
Nick Tow's in the back.
But Coleman is also suspected of killing adults. The body of 25-year-old evangelist Donna Williams was found in an abandoned Detroit building last week. She'd been missing since June 19th, shortly after she met Coleman. On July 7th, a 30-year-old Toledo woman and her 10-year-old daughter were found dead in the crawlway of their home.
And what we've learned, there's very little doubt, if any, that it is Coleman and Brown.
Coleman is thought to be traveling with Deborah Brown, a former lover. But whether she is a willing accomplice or a captive is not clear.
It is a master-slave type relationship. She's been described as being willing to do anything that Alton Coleman tells her to do.
Yo, what the hell?
Started as far as
Yeah.
He was warning people with glizzies. A real deal glizzy goblin.
Damn.
Footlongs and shit.
He just pull up on him, whip an undressed glizzy out his cargo pocket.
Jesus.
Wow.
Is News 5 at 11.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us. I'm Tracy Carlos. There is growing outrage surrounding the carjacking of a 61-year-old woman by two teenagers outside of a Cleveland rec center last month. Today, multiple organizations coming together in support of that woman who was attacked. News 5's Jeff Left Coolidge was there as the community gathered and stood with the woman.
That attack happened on Halloween, just a couple hundred feet behind me here in the parking lot of the Thurgood Marshall Recreational Center. And that 61-year-old victim, we're told, hasn't been back ever since. The group wants her to know that she can return and feel safe.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Who we here for? Say seniors. Who we here for?
Seniors. Members from the group.
Look how, now I salute these people. No problem with these people, but look how partisan, you know, the protest is for this.
Very sparse.
Yeah, and if one of them two teens that carjacked them would have ran into Daniel Penny, they'd have been tearing up the city.
Yeah, but look at this Shaniqua's shirt. She's like, it looks like they're making like a sexual statement here. Like this is like a bunch of women that are tired of women getting deleted every 4 hours or whatever. Like I feel like that's playing a part here.
You talking about that stat? A black woman gets killed like every 4 hours, 5 hours or some shit. Whatever the fuck it is.
Oh yeah. I don't know. Maybe that shirt is like, that's just what she wore today, but that's her organization. Because a lot of these people that protest, they part of different organizations. Like these people ain't just regular people from the community. These are activists too, for whatever cause they have. Because you really can't get black people to come out for this type of shit if they not already, you know what I'm saying, activists.
Well, you might, like, obviously you could for a white police officer. That goes without saying, right? But you might be able to get a smaller amount of like women out if it takes on like a, men are shit and men are bad type of narrative.
Not really. Not in the black community. Maybe white women could, like start some protest and bring out some black women with them, but it's really hard for getting the black women to come out against violence. You know what I'm saying? And shit like that. Because they're immersed in it. They're used to it. They don't know what a lot of violence is. Like their calibrations is.
It's a good point.
Groups Black on Black Crime, Black Women's Army, and Black Man's Army marched in front of the Thurgood Marshall Center Saturday evening in support of that 61-year-old woman who was attacked while walking her two dogs by two teens that law enforcement says is responsible for dozens of crimes around the city.
A senior should be able to come to walk their dog in any neighborhood at any time, whether it's on Huff, Shaker, or wherever. They should be safe.
The rec center has a camera on every corner and captured the attack as it happened on October 31st. You can see the woman walking down the sidewalk with her two dogs as she heads to her car. Suddenly, you can see in the top right corner of the screen the two teens, a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, run up on her. The teens snatch the victim's car keys out of her hand. They even kick her dog. The 61-year-old valiantly tries to fight the teens off, even as one of the teens pulls out what appears to be a gun. And
that's a extendo.
Even as one of the teens.
That looked like a 30-round dick.
Yeah, they're like fucking rats, dude. I swear to God. They're like little pirates. They just fucking come, kick your dog, kick you, take your car. Like, fuck, man.
They pulling up with the dicks, bro. It's a wrap. Just gotta give it up.
The skinny ones with the dreads. I don't get it.
What the
hell? That's what they call it, Mark. That they call it the 30-round dick.
I know.
Oh, I was about to.
This shit is sick, man.
I mean, Mark, what you? If this you right here, like, what you doing, bro?
Well, I carry heat, and then I bounce and
crashing.
I'm not saying I'm on some Mayo shit, but for my son, I'm gonna just give up my car. Just for my if it's for my son, I'm gonna give up my car. So I can't trust him.
If you ain't have a son, you crashing up.
I'm crashing out. Yeah, we blasting. I'm going out.
All right.
Yeah, I'm telling the truth. If I
Nah, I
have a
believe you, bro.
son,
I
yeah,
believe you.
but because of my son, I'm like, I could get another car, so I'm not really worried about. I'm not hurting.
All right, so you going the Mossy route, Mexican standoff.
Yeah, if I wasn't a dad.
New guy, what you doing, bro?
Yo, do you guys carry guns down there? Like, are you afraid of this type of shit ever happening to you, or how does it work for you down there?
What do you mean? In Jersey, or just in
Yeah,
general?
just I guess in general, but yeah, like where you're located.
I live my life, man. That's it.
I
I don't
mean,
stay. I live upbeat.
I'm definitely scared of shit like this happening for sure. But I don't walk around with a pipe on me. Nah.
Because like up here, we don't really have that many sons. Like we have other groups doing other bullshit, but in terms of like the gun violence, we just don't really have it here because we just don't really have a culture of guns, and we don't have sons, and that's just a deadly combination.
It's not Toronto. Certain parts of Toronto.
I can't even like even if like I've been to Toronto before, and it's like it doesn't strike me
It's
as a
not.
particularly dangerous place.
Yeah. I know what you mean because like I said, I have family up there, so I do go up there often. I mean, you just gotta live life, man. I live life, man. I just like that's why I do the umbritos in my area. Those clubs are safer. They're
Okay.
calmer. I just know how to surround myself. I don't do sun clubs at all. I cannot do it. I won't do it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Like, no, I will cross the street if I see a sun. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I just don't care. And yeah, it's just like, it's not worth it, man. Like,
But I
got a
think
message
up
on
there,
Facebook Marketplace. Like, I'm not gonna reply. Like, it's just not worth. It's just a hassle, man. Like, I don't want to pick like the one son who's a good man out of the other 100. Right? It's just like so fucking just time wasting and yeah.
but I think up there it's a little more calmer. Suns are a little more calmer up there. But I know what you mean.
Like, yeah, we have people getting stabbed on like Caravana and stuff, but like we don't have the number. Like we don't have
that's
like
parties.
numbers. We don't have numbers that you guys have like in Chicago. We just don't have like these crazy numbers that just get posted year after year, where people just get eliminated by bullets just whizzing by.
Yeah, it's scary, man.
And like this here, this video we're looking at right here, like
That's
this is unthinkable.
that's the Midwest though, man. You got a good bracket over there. You got Chicago, Cleveland, Detroit. That's pretty good
Yeah.
brackets. Cincinnati, those are Indianapolis. So you talking about big brackets over there, man.
If anything, we have like more Patels doing some of this type of behavior.
Is it by Vancouver and stuff? Because I remember I ran into those Patels. They were telling me about that.
Yeah, we've got. Yeah, if you have an open border, you're just like if you invite in the third world DNA, then eventually you will start having their problems. Like it's just that simple.
But the good thing about the Patels, they don't come with too much gun violence, but they do come with their paws, with their glizzies against y'all women.
Yeah, no, they're yeah, they bring their no culture is quite like I don't know what it is. Like it's just no culture is comparable to like the Sun murder culture. Like there's just I can't think of something that's like even close to comparable.
Burritos. Sorry, but I think burritos are more organized, so that's why. Because like when
Yeah,
I
less
search,
chaotic.
Yeah, when I search guys, they have knives and stuff, and I'm like, yo, not put it back in the car. They do it. You
Yeah,
know.
they're not shooting into crowds and stupid shit like that.
Yeah, I remember one time I did one club, which was crazy. It was an MS-13. I was like, shit, what the fuck was I thinking? But it was respectable. They said just for you, we're not gonna act up, and I got lucky.
I'm curious to see like if Trump actually does something, like because they've been talking about it for like weeks now with what's that glider, that Hoffman, or what's his name, something man,
Nah,
the guy
Tom Hammond.
he's legit. I like him. I like him,
he's talking a
and
big game.
I like Cash Patel. I like that pick too.
Yeah, I don't like how first thing he says is waking up and prioritizing Israel. But
You talking about Cash
anyway,
Patel? You don't like him? You said?
yeah. No. I mean, I like him. I just kind of don't like how he introduced himself to the world. Like, what do you even mean whenever you say, wake up in the morning and prioritize Israel? Just don't get it.
That's Patel talk, man. Not
No,
even
that
Patel
seems like
talk.
no, that's
Nah,
Republican talk.
that's Republican talk. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I like him. I think he's very articulate.
Yeah,
He's really
me too.
sharp,
Who you talking
very
about?
sharp. Cash
Cash Patel.
Patel.
Oh, you talking about what did Trump name him? The head of the
He
FBI
FBI.
FBI.
director.
the FBI. Okay, yeah.
I mean,
Don't.
I'll say this much: like, he doesn't come off to me as like a complete like Zionist or like war hawk, like absolute like Jew first shill. So like, that's already a step in the right direction.
No, he's legit. That's all to me. I like him. Out of those two guys he picked, I like those two. And let's see if they clean it up. I know New York mayors, he's really he's trying to follow orders. So we'll see.
Yeah, but Eric Adams has been like talking some shit about like the Democrats for like a while now, even before Trump won, right? Like,
Yeah,
didn't
he already he
Yeah.
he already saw what they were doing. So he
yeah,
knew.
the
And
Biden
he's trying to
DOJ, didn't they already investigate Eric Adams like months ago at this point?
yeah, and he's trying to make sure that if Trump pardoned him, it's a wrap. Eric Adams is never going to say a bad word about Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
let me ask
Eric
you something
Adams,
real
like
quick.
he's using his brain cells here, I think.
Finally.
But Holman is like out of all the picks, Holman was like the one that I'm like, all right, this guy like
No, he's
actually,
legit.
yeah. Well, I don't know yet. We gotta wait and find out, right? That's the main thing.
When Trump picked Matt Gaetz, that was the big
Control.
break.
Who?
That was just a troll.
Who?
I don't
Who?
know about that. I don't know. I didn't think it was to troll because if it
Yo,
was to troll,
yo.
then
I didn't even
What's
know you was
up?
on the panel, bro. What's cracking?
what up?
Yo, what you doing if this you, bro? You giving it up or you crashing out?
Talk about in this picture.
Yeah, if these YNs pull up on you with the 30-round dick,
Man, shit. I don't know. I think I might get that anyway, right?
you crashing out. Yo,
Yeah.
new guy, bro. What's you crashing out or you giving the will up?
Oh, dude, if these dudes come, man, even with if they run up on me, even if they have their fucking hands in their little front hoodie pocket, I'm still gonna be like, yeah, just take it. Like, they don't even have to have the gun. I know what they're capable of. It ain't worth it, bro.
Yeah, I'm giving this. I can get another car, bro. I
Yeah,
can't
like
get another life.
Yeah.
if your
Yeah.
girl's in the car, you pull her ass the fuck out, and then you let these fucking proto humans take your shit. That's what it is.
Yeah. You be like, look, bitch, these niggas outside. It's time to get the fuck out.
Yeah,
Unless
basically.
you want to die, like, cause I'm going.
She ballsy for just I don't know what she was thinking.
She got that. She got that old people not giving a fuck shit going on. That's probably what
She
old people stop caring after a while.
yeah, she like I'm 61. I made it this far.
Also, I think like she's black. She's a old black lady, so she's kind of like it's just kind of like a dance almost. Like as long as you like dance the right way, the right rhythm, like they won't shoot you. But if you dance with the wrong rhythm, then they will. So you gotta like play your
Man,
part.
they would have smoked her, man. They just
I agree.
had a brain for a second because they got the car.
The thing that helped her out was they already had the keys. I think they snatched the keys off her immediately.
Exactly.
So they like, all right, we already got the keys. Just let this bitch get whatever. But then again, she could have been in there grabbing her heat, bro. And she could
Yeah,
have
that's a good
started.
point.
So these niggas is like, still low IQ. But letting they even dig all in her car like that, not knowing what she has in there.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
she's a woman, so I think that like if they wouldn't let a sun man put his motherfucking head and
no.
his arms back in. No way.
Fuck no.
They would have blown his ass up.
Yeah, it would have been over. They they thought she was sweet and probably were right because she probably didn't do anything.
Yeah, they kick her dog too. Like they're such fucking cunts, dude. They're so fucking awful.
like the dog, like what the fuck I got to do with this?
Dude, it's like an infestation in every fucking state in America. It's like a factory every year. There's just like a new fucking 12-year-old with a gun.
Sun turds.
It's crazy. I think I just found out today. One of my students, he told me how he got through the border. Yo, I couldn't believe he said that crazy ass story. One of my eighth grade students, how the family got through. I was like, what the fuck? So he was saying that he was afraid. I'm like, nah, you'd be all right. As long as their parents just work and they gotta make sure they get their shit together with the immigration lawyers. Couldn't believe
Yeah,
that shit.
I want Homan to like take every single person, like as many as possible, and just expel them. That would be a good thing.
Yeah, but for the kid for that kid to tell me that means a lot of my Umbrito students probably came here illegal. I'm thinking that.
Oh,
Yo,
absolutely.
new guy, would you be in favor of like reparations if it was like, all right, we're gonna give you a check, but you gotta get out and not come back?
Yo, they do that shit in Japan. That's like a normal thing where like they literally will like fucking pay people to go home. But like, here's the thing, right? Like, if that were to be a thing, like I would be in support of it because it's going to be more expensive at the end of the day to keep them in the long run. It's just not worth it, like.
Oh man, let's
like Nigtow, do you think it would be a good idea if the United States of America demographically transformed into a Latin America country? I don't think so. I think that would be all. So
it would turn into South America.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, all America is what? It's just land, right? There's nothing like.
It's no magic dirt.
Yeah, the whole magic dirt theory. I hate people who subscribe to that. It's so fucking annoying and stupid.
If it was magic dirt, the Native Americans would have had skyscrapers.
Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, though. As far as if the demographics change here, one thing though this country does have though is that Constitution, that Bill of Rights, and all that shit, the foundation which is set on, is really hard to change that shit Now you would have these people like sons living under that, but those sons, like even if you look at sons in America, we still are like the most civilized sons in the world. You know what I'm saying? Because of that Constitution. So unless these groups come in and change the Constitution, the framework of the country, the founding document, um, like it's going to be very hard for them to like completely um turn this country into shit. Because as long as there's a little bit of gliders here to keep the lights on, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you ever go? I don't know how what I could describe it as, but it's it would kind of be like you ever been to like this, like when I worked at Home Depot, right? When I first got there, it was just like a bunch of people just running around like worker bees and shit and blah blah blah. Black people just on the floor working, doing their jobs, you know, hardware, this department, that department, a couple of Hispanics and a few whites or whatever. But when you'd go into the managers meeting, right? Or you know, you tuck your head in there when the manager's having a meeting.
Oh, wait.
It's no, but it's less black.
Oh, okay.
That's where like where the floor, the sales floor would be probably 90% black. The managers meeting would be like an Indian, you know, 2 Hispanics, 3 whites, all 3 white people that work in the store. You know what I'm saying? And like the rest black. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? So it's like as long as you got enough to, you know what I'm saying, like white people, like think about it. What population could whites get to where this country could devolve into a third world country?
Like probably South Africa. Like there's clearly a critical mass where if you just go below it, then it's just kind
There's
of
60 now. There's 60% now, dude.
like no, it's here's the thing. We don't want to get there, right? Like
No,
let's
I don't want
fucking
to get
expel
there.
these people instead. Like why think about getting there?
But the thing is that gliders are declining, but some people aren't increasing their number. They're like staying pretty stagnant. So
Yeah.
the other groups that are going to, you know, be the majority in the future is going to be non sons.
The other
Yeah.
group. It's only one group.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because like,
so it's not going to be South Africa. Not to cut you off.
It almost like from the if the Sun Man could think for just one moment, like it almost makes sense for a Sun Man to want like a white nationalist country himself, because what other group of people are going to put up with Sun shit if they become the majority?
Nobody. And I think
man.
sons know that like intuitively. I think sons know that intuitively because if you look around the world, like everywhere was slavery. There was slavery in Brazil. There was slavery in Mexico. There were more slaves in Mexico than the United States. There was slavery in the Arab world. The only people sons, you know, press out about that shit and, you know, cuss out and tell and stand on a fucking podium and on a pulpit and shout about to is gliders, because they know there's not going to be any consequences for it, and gliders are gonna like cajole them and, you know, do apologize to them, you know, talk about reparations. Okay, let's sit back and talk about it, even they're not gonna do it. But them other races, we know it's not even worth it to tell them about it, because we know they're gonna be like, man, fuck off.
Yeah, no, the best a Sun Man could, the best life a Sun Man could ever have on this planet would be as a minority in a 90% white America. That's the best you can get. You will never go past that, and you and the gliders are going to, you know, learn that within the next coming decades, and it's not going to be very fun, I don't think, for either, but especially Sun people.
Yeah, sons know that intuitively. It's just like a it's kind of like just, you don't have to, it's like DNA. It's in our DNA. We know gliders. Like once we get around gliders, we know that they're the good ones. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that we can talk to. They're the ones that, you know what I'm saying, play fair. You know what I'm saying? Those are the ones that
Yeah,
create
yeah.
rules. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is similar to us, but even though they're not us either, but they're
No.
similar as far as their you know what I'm saying, as far as like savagery.
No, other groups are repulsed by sons. Like if you're
Yeah.
at their dinner table with them, like they don't want their daughters marrying son people. Like they're
hell no.
completely repulsed
Yeah.
by sons.
Like
A
the
basketball
Tigers,
player.
the Patos.
Tigers
Like,
hate us.
like
Yeah, a basketball
yeah, man.
player or a football player or entertainer, something like that. Maybe, you know what I'm saying, you could
Yeah.
but just a regular son. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
No. No, they're not. And listen, the thing about that is that we are racist too, but it's a different energy. Like their racism is like a brick wall. They're like, no, keep these. We don't want to share your blood. We'll share other races' blood. We like
Yeah.
pretty hair, babies with pretty hair. We're not afraid of your blood. I think that those other races are afraid of
Yeah.
our blood. Our
They don't even want.
DNA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So are gliders. Gliders are too. We're just not allowed to like say it. Like, but it's you raise a good point here because like
You
think
sure
about it
about
for a
that?
second.
You sure about
Yeah.
that? Because
Oh,
mud sharks love our blood, man. I don't know, man.
yeah. Mud shark. It's a good point to raise because it's a funny like dichotomy here. Like the mud shark will be like usually overweight, less education, and she'll get like a son man. Whereas like a fit, attractive black woman, she has to be attractive and very fit for her to get a white man. And if you look at the pairings between those two, that kind of theme plays out. But I think the majority of of gliders are just like other groups. They're not really interested in mixing all that much.
Always thought
Yeah,
thought it was the rebellious glider was the one who was trying to race
See,
mix.
I live in a town though. I live in a town where like literally like sons have started to invade this town. And you know, it's probably more on burritos that have invaded the town, but we're talking about 100%, let's just say 98% white town that's now probably 90% white, right? And you know, you can feel it, right? So the little white girls here, man, I mean, they love them some sun men, man. It appears that way. Let me just say it appears that way. I'm not in high school. I'm not in, you know, college age. I don't live in their world, but just from going out and about, it appears that if it's 10 Brads and one Sun Man, that
They're
Sun
taking that
Man,
sun. Yep.
no, that Sun Man has a better chance than those 10 Brads combined because you know our aggressiveness, our upfrontness, our boldness, you know what I'm saying, our ability to just call it like it is. Like some men just be like, a white girl might be fine as hell, right? And she might live her whole life never being told, damn, you fine as shit. And here comes a Sun Man like, damn, baby, you fine as shit. That's maybe the first time she's ever been told that.
Yeah, no, I get your point, but like if you just look at the data, actually, if you look at like there's like some infamous like OkCupid studies that came out like a decade ago, and and they basically show that like white men in general are basically seen as the most attractive group of people among all women, like all minority women, and basically all the stereotypes you could think about were basically confirmed. Like, yeah, Asian women prefer white men, and at least that's what the data says. White women prefer white men. Mexican women do too, and like all that shit.
But black women prefer black men. I think they're an outlier.
Yeah, black women are the one. Like, black women and white women are very race loyal.
Yeah. I think black sisters, man, yeah, they going down with the shit, man. But yeah, let me play this video, man.
You can see the woman walking down the sidewalk with her 2 dogs as she heads to her car. Suddenly, you can see in the top right corner of the screen the 2 teens, a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old, run up on her. The teens snatch the victim's car keys out of her hand. They even kick her dog. The 61-year-old valiantly tries to fight the teens off, even as one of the teens pulls out what appears to be a gun and aims it at her. Eventually, the senior loses the fight and her car as the teen suspects take off in her Kia.
She hasn't been here since the incident happened. So we want her to know that we want her to come back. She's loved. She's going to be safe. And she can walk her dog.
How can you guarantee her safety, brother?
That's literally a lie.
You can't guarantee nothing for that woman, man. Without the police being there.
Yeah, it's getting out of hand.
The group says it's time to take a stand and instill core values in the city's youth again.
Respect your elders. That is instilled in our head, and I don't know what's happening lately. Lately, you've been seeing a lot of assaults on elders, the seniors.
15-year-old Arthur McCoy knows firsthand about
My
entire 7th grade year, I was cutting classes, getting suspended, getting.
I hate how sons can just act like sons have like a really bad short-term memory thing, where they act like all this shit that happens today is like this is like the first iteration of any like sons were just peaceful, like elderly, respecting the elderly and just non-violent before 2024. Like shit is so fucking irritating.
Man, you ain't my age, man, and you got to hear niggas talk about some back in my day we used to fight with our hands, and it's like, oh my god, nigga, what the fuck are you talking about? Shit, wait till you get older, you gonna hear him say that.
It's too bad we didn't have Twitter in like the 1800s going forward, and then we could have documented all this bullshit, dispel all the rumors, all this lying and shit. Sons have always been killers.
Yeah, man, it didn't used to be like this, man.
I don't know. I don't think there's certain people that won't wake up from that. They'll and they can be smart too, really smart, educated people.
Oh yeah,
but
all these,
there's no snapping it out. It doesn't matter. You can
throughout all these niggas' lives, sons have been violent. Like
they won't accept it. They reject it.
It's just. They'll swear to God that this shit wasn't like this.
If you talk about Negroes from Negro land to certain black people, they're gonna say that
they'll look at you crazy.
You're ignorant. They're gonna be like, you're ignorant, and you don't deserve to be talking or working here.
Yeah, I mean, well, you gotta understand, right? If you talk to a Sun person about Negroes in Negro land, you're basically saying some people have like an 80 IQ, and like you just gotta, a group of people like human beings, what color, are not prepared to accept like intellectual inferiority.
Yeah, no,
right?
it's 60. It's gonna be like a shooting for 60. So it could be like somewhere between 45.
It's a glider.
So
you trying to be nice.
But
yeah, 80 is gonna be like for the foundation of Black America.
Man. It's the bell curve. You want to have
the
distribution.
Exactly.
You're gonna have sons with high IQs, but it's going to be less of them than other groups, and you're gonna have sons with in the medium range of IQ, where just the regular general range. It's going to be a lot of them in there too, but it's going to be the majority of them are going to be in the medium to the low range. And the ones who have high IQs within those Sun societies, they're going to seem fucking weird.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, the average IQ is 100, period. Gliders, 50% of gliders have 100 IQ. Asians, it's like 62%, I think. Suns only 15%.
Oh shit!
But hold on, he's talking about mulattoes, Melungeons.
Yeah, North American
everything that's considered a Sun here is like, I mean, the ad mixture is crazy. I would love to know how many like sons like me. You know what I'm saying? Russell
Oh
Westbrook,
yeah, like
Kevin
the
Durant, LeBron James. That got that look. You know what I'm saying? How many
yeah
sons that even T.I., even a motherfucker like T.I. or some shit, just a regular son man with nappy ass hair. I would love to see
yeah
what it is for us.
He
It'll
might.
I'm
He
probably
might
calling it.
be.
I'm calling it now. I'm no better than an 85. I'm just gonna say that.
Shout out to
yeah
Oakview, man. Shout out to Oakview, man. Salute to my man Douglas Chunks, man, coming in from Alaska, man. We gonna check on Alaska after this, man. We gonna check on Alaska. Let me move.
I was cutting classes, getting suspended, getting into fights.
He belongs to a program called Man to Man, taught by members of the groups represented at the rally.
About it. In my 8th grade year in middle school, I turned it all around. I had an amazing 8th grade year. I made
you could
honor
tell
roll
this nigga
twice
was
and
getting bullied.
everything.
But Arthur says he started to go down a bad path again this year.
I know I'm wrong, and I know I shouldn't have done it. I'm still working now to correct that. With God, all things are possible. So
He says groups like Man to Man can help troubled teens become better people. He told me he's disgusted by the behavior of the two teens who carjacked that senior citizen.
So here's my question. What are you going to do to change this? Because you owe this woman and her dogs apology.
No justice!
The group hopes.
Bro, what?
Yo, the
Apologies.
audacity.
No,
They didn't say apologies.
that's a good kid though.
See, that's
That's
why
a good kid though.
California
So
is pushing an apology for reparations.
Yo, he said that dog deserves one too from white folks.
but he was a good kid. You could tell he got caught up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can tell.
he's a good kid. I give him good kid status. I mean,
He got caught up twice though.
Hey, he's
Oh,
still
No,
a
I
son,
mean,
man. You don't want to tell a
it's still
league.
his son. Yeah, he's surrounded. Like, you ever been to a Sun school, man? I'm sure some of you guys went to Sun school.
Yes.
Like, it's
I went
not
to all
a school.
Yeah.
It's not a school. It's a social setting.
yeah
It's not a school. Man.
just
Yeah.
pulling you just in class niggas trying to fuck on our classmates. That's it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not a school, man. The Sun school is the school part is just there if you can somehow grasp it through all the bullshit. It's there for you. The teachers teaching lessons, there's books and shit, but
Performative.
the actual social, if you're anybody like who's like mildly popular or has any kind of status, yo, it's not a school, man. It's not a school.
Yeah.
And my shoes I was going to schools just drama, nigga shit. You was just chasing the fattest ass in the class.
Yeah, it's more like a zoo. Like when I was coming up, like the few sons that we had were in like the behavioral class, and so they kind of segregated them there.
Yeah, that's the best thing to
It's
do,
more
bro.
like a jungle. At least in the zoo, they're behind a cage.
Just gotta put most of the sons in the slow class.
Yeah, in a
That
zoo,
don't
the
help.
animals can't rip each other apart.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Let's see.
You
Alaska.
know, they said
police are investigating.
I think they said Eskimos developed. I think it was Eskimos. They developed some sort of some shit where they have like their spatial awareness. They developed like higher spatial awareness because they had to.
Nigto.
Hello?
It's proprioception.
Yeah, I think they. I don't know how to describe it, but I just thought that shit was interesting, like how different groups develop different traits based on like the environments they have to survive in.
Proprioception.
Yes.
The hell is that?
It's the way you perceive the space around your body in your relation to it.
Oh wow.
But situational awareness is good enough.
See, the Sun Man cares about how they look. You know,
Yeah.
they care but they don't really care about, you know
How
what I'm
they
saying,
are.
what surrounds them.
Yeah, some man cares about things you can see because we don't have that what's the word? Not analog. God damn, not analog. Shit.
I know what you're saying.
IQ.
No, what's the
No,
word when
it's
something is not in front of your
awareness,
face? When something is,
situational.
no, when something is there, but it's like it's not. It's only there in the mind. It's only there in the
Conceptual ability.
Fuck. I use this
I
word
don't
all the
know.
time. I can't believe I can't.
Abstract. Ability to
Abstract.
abstract. Yeah.
Abstract. Yeah. We can't. We don't have abstraction. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah. We struggle with that mightily.
And developing tonight, police are investigating a shooting in East Anchorage that happened just after 3 this morning. Officers arrived to the 1000 block of Hoyt Street and found an adult male who had been shot in the upper body. He was taken to the hospital and is being treated. Police don't have any suspect information at this time, but ask anyone with information regarding this incident or surveillance video to contact police dispatch. That's 311 option 1 or call 907-786-8900 option 0.
So there's a shooting.
Tonight in Atlanta,
There was a shooting in Alaska, man. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if that was some Suns, man. I just wouldn't be surprised. Because we did the video, they got Suns up there. They come from they get paid, they get money to come there. Like you get like $14,000 a year to come to Alaska.
Single moms too.
Yeah.
And developing tonight, police are investigating a shooting in East.
Oh, that's the same one.
Ireland and Alaska are like, damn.
Everywhere is like that. Let's see. Wow. Yeah, it's not a lot of crime going on up here. Not a lot going on up here. Not a lot of anything. Like one thing that is true though about white people though, like they don't like assault each other much, man. They don't you know what I'm saying? Like they not like fighting in the streets and shit. You know what
And
I'm
when they do, they help themselves up too.
Yes, isolated incidents.
Yeah.
Anchorage woman's feeling lucky to have escaped injury after shots were fired into her home. Lauren Maxwell has details.
Connie Ernst told us that she has lived in this house on Jelinek Place in East Anchorage for more than 30 years. And in all that time, Linda McCrae has been her neighbor in the red house right next door. Ernst said she'd gotten used to McCrae firing off shots in her backyard, supposedly because she was angry about homeless camps across the street in Centennial Park. But on Monday night, something changed.
Alaska,
Ernst says
damn.
McCrae started shooting and wouldn't stop. When Ernst realized 2 of the bullets had gone through the wall of her spare bedroom, she called 911.
That bullet actually traveled in here. She'd fire 6 shots, and then I imagine she probably had to reload. And then she'd fire some more, and then dispatcher said, you go downstairs. And because I've got a basement that I felt a lot more secure in. And plus, my poor dog was just clinging to me.
According to charging documents, McCrae shot at officers as they arrived, but she was eventually arrested, and fortunately, no one was injured. She told police she considered Connie Ernst her worst enemy because she'd been helping homeless people.
They were thirsty. I gave them water. But so was she targeted?
So a homeless encampment pops up across the street from you, and you start feeding the motherfuckers. Yeah, I'd be mad at you too. You want them to leave, man. You don't feed the bears, man.
She'll choose
me or just shooting in general. You'd have to ask her, but I'm assuming since she specifically pointed out that she had a neighbor that was an enemy that was helping the homeless, that's me. guilty as charged.
Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
That's why you got your ass shot up too. Shit.
Yeah.
8-year-old man arraigned in Anchorage this afternoon after being apprehended late last week, but then released, accused now of more aggression toward recreationists. Chanyu Ahmed is back in custody, facing a slew of charges for his alleged involvement in a series of attacks on people and property near and along multiple hiking trails, with the most recent reported yesterday afternoon.
Mr. Ahmed was arraigned in district court here down at the jail, and he was arraigned on one count of fear assault for what happened, the allegations of what happened at the Basher Trailhead by Campbell Airstrip. And so he was arraigned. I gave the comments of the victim to the judge, and new court dates were set.
According to new court documents from the arraignment today, 3 hikers were in the Basher Trail area of Campbell Airstrip Road yesterday around 3 in the afternoon when one of the women saw a man go into the woods and reappear with a large stick. The hikers all drew their bear spray to defend themselves before the man, who was later identified as Ahmed, dropped the stick and walked away. The Department of Law talking today not about the specifics of any cases, but instead speaking generally, explaining that the state constitution says everyone is entitled to bail when they are first charged, but there is an exception for somebody who has violated probation.
Based on the nature of the offense and the person's criminal history, are they a flight risk, and what sort of danger do they pose? And those two things lead the court to set what is considered a reasonable bail, and that includes what would be reasonable conditions of release.
Now, the assistant municipal attorney asked today for $1,000 cash performance and a live third-party custodian to be with Ahmed, so he will remain in custody until he can get both of those. The DOC also hasn't responded to a request for comment about when exactly Ahmed was in custody, but the Anchorage Police Department is still asking anyone who has had similar experiences or encounters on trails here in Anchorage to call 311. Choose option 1. So if you run into someone who's especially aggressive, perhaps throwing rocks, or seems to be antagonizing trail goers, or if you know of a physical attack on people or property, call that number. You can also call.
I'm mad. I got a goddamn fucking saying man up there causing problems, man. Shit.
Oh man, yeah, he in the woods, shitting everywhere.
Is there any update on Daniel Penny? Because I think the jury was deliberating today.
Tomorrow, yes. You said what? It deliberated today?
I think they were.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I think that he's gonna, he's in a shitload of trouble. But
oh, really?
New guy, you think he getting off?
Honestly, man, I feel like it's possible at this point that like just there's probably just enough like Negro fatigue that like I think he might get off. Yeah, like people are just so fucking sick of the shit that he might just get off
too. Yeah, I think he's gonna get off. I mean,
now, after weeks of testimony in the subway chokehold death trial, the fate of Daniel Penny is in the hands of the jury. The judge handed the case to the jurors just before 1:30 this afternoon. A little more than an hour into the deliberations, the jury asked the judge to read back his instructions, specifically the part about justified use of force, which could be the deciding factor in the jury's verdict. Eyewitness News reporter Lauren Glassberg is outside the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Lauren?
Joe, under the law, a person may use physical force on another person when he believes it necessary to defend himself. But the law is complex and it has nuances, and the jury will have to apply the law to this case, a case that touches on race, mental illness, and public safety. The jury finished deliberating for the day, but they will be back tomorrow. It was a situation.
So, I mean, that is a good thing, though, that they didn't just come back quick. That they're delivering.
Exactly.
That's good for him. That's good for him.
Situation that on many levels New Yorkers could relate to. A crazed subway rider begins making threats alarming passengers. But in the case of Jordan Neely, one rider sprang to action. And now a jury is deciding whether what Daniel Penny did on that F train in May of 2023 was criminal. Penny, a retired Marine, restrained Neely as he threatened riders and
No,
held him in a
multiple people restrained them. The fact that they just keep acting like these people are not right there holding his arms, because if this
Yeah,
guy's not holding his arms, maybe he could get free.
yeah. It feels like they're still trying to hold on to the script. It's almost
Yo,
kind of like the day before the election.
people said I was people told me I was retarded for
poll
saying
that, according to the
that he wasn't trying to
prosecution,
kill him.
proved fatal to.
No,
Yeah,
he
he
wasn't.
wasn't trying to kill him.
He wasn't. There's a difference.
The notion that he was just like, I'm gonna kill you, like, come on, man.
Yeah, man, yeah. People are stupid. We can't.
Because you can put a guy's head, like you can put your arm behind a guy's head, but not actually apply the pressure, right? They keep trying to say this shit like, oh, he was choking him for 5 minutes. It's impossible. No one can survive being choked for 5 minutes. It doesn't work that way.
5 seconds is a long time to be choked.
Exactly. It's like you know if you're like, let's say you're babysitting some like fucking annoying retarded kid, like you restrain him, but you're not actually hurting him, right? It's like that.
Yeah, this right here though. I'm glad they have footage of it. Like it's not a he say she say thing. You literally the jurors can literally see that this other guy is holding him too. So it's like that's always going to be a benefit for him, because no matter how indoctrinated you are, like, hey, wait a second, this guy's holding both of his arms.
And at first, I thought Daniel Penny was married to a son's sister, but it looks like he's married to Ambrita.
Oh no!
To the 30-year-old Neely. Neely's supporters are calling for justice.
He had so many other things he could have done to allegedly protect the people on that train, other than use lethal force.
But Penny, who didn't testify, had told police that he was trying to protect the passengers.
Like, I'm not trying to. That's smart. He didn't testify, so that's good for him too.
Yeah, big move. Do not testify.
I'm just trying to de-escalate the situation.
Video shows Penny holding Neely for nearly 6 minutes. By the time police arrived, Neely was unconscious. A pathologist for the defense testified that Neely's death was
Tupac. What the fuck?
Due to contributing factors, including synthetic marijuana in his system. Neely was homeless and had a history of mental illness. Some witnesses say they were relieved Penny intervened.
Was unbelievably off the charts. He scared the living daylights out of everyone.
Others said Penny.
That helps a lot. That helps a tremendous amount, dude.
A black woman saying it too, like.
The
living daylights out of everything.
Yeah, and she sounds sincere as well. Like she sounds like she was pretty scared.
This is the moments after it happened. This is not like after she's like been debriefed by, this is like raw.
Yeah, raw footage.
Yeah, so yeah, this helps too right here too, yeah.
This footage should have been a wrap. It should have been
Penny too far, and now a jury will decide whether Penny committed manslaughter.
A lot of people feel he was justified for intervening. But after that 30 seconds, he went on for another 5 minutes.
Because the guy was still fighting with him.
These niggas just straight up lying, man.
Yeah, they're
acting
trying to act
like the guy just stopped moving.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to say he like choked an unconscious corpse for 5 additional minutes. That's not what happened.
If it wasn't for this guy, man, Penny would have had a fight on his hand, because this guy is holding his arms. This guy, if it was just him and Neely and Penny right there on the ground, that would have been a hell of a fight.
Hey, Penny would have had to kill him, like for real.
Yeah, perhaps. For real.
Yeah.
I would really like to know the demographic makeup though of that jury. That really will affect things. But I feel like, at this point, man, like I feel like even Eric Adams, if he was on that jury, he'd be like, yeah, just let this guy go free. Like, fuck it.
Eric Adams defended him.
Yeah, exactly, right?
He's a cop.
And
Eric Adams is a cop.
And also like Trump won the popular vote. So the jury's in there deliberating. You know, maybe there's like some Chinese people and some white people in that jury that are feeling like, you know, they're feeling strong in this moment. They're like, all right, let's just let this kid go.
Yeah, I feel what you're saying. Like the zeitgeist of the moment.
Exactly. Yeah, the temperature is different. So, and also here's the thing: like, does anyone truly think that Daniel Penny is like a threat to the public? I mean, no.
This is
No,
I mean,
he's not.
No, it's straight up revenge. It's like we just know that it'll happen again. No different than a stolen election. No different than J6 getting found guilty for life and all that other crap. So we just know the lengths they're willing to go.
Yeah. No. If this Sun
That's
Man
why
was a
it's
glider,
concerning.
this would not even be a thing. No one would be. We
What
won't
you
even
mean?
know about
It
it.
happened literally a week later. A week later, the same situation happened, except the dude pulled out a gun and killed him, and he got out. He got out like
Okay.
in less than 5 hours.
I even think like a jury of like hombreros even would let him go free. Like that, just people are. I think they're just sick of the
I
bullshit.
think a jury of black men would let him go free.
Out of 12 black men, yeah, you might find one on there from Off
Nah,
Nation.
you gotta
that would be
remember.
like,
You gotta remember though. Like 80% of brothers still voted for Kamala.
yeah.
I think maybe a jury of black like male YouTubers and shit like that. But
yeah.
just
I
black
don't even know
men
if I
in the
trust
world.
that.
No. There's
Yeah,
no
12
way a
Brandon
jury of black
Tatums.
men. Yeah, there's no way 12 black men would let that guy go. You fucking crazy?
Well, no, but you only need one, right? That's what I'm saying. Like out of 12 black men, you might get one who's like, nah, I'm not going to put this kid in jail.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, probably so. But it would be hard to like, yo, you let that
With women there though being 50% of the jury, I'm assuming that fucks it all up. That really puts a whole different spin on it.
Yeah. Hey. Let's see what else is going on.
Also, like, Daniel Penny, he's not testifying, but in addition, like, he's doing this. You know how we always talk about here, like, Trump should just leave some people behind. Don't try to fucking placate to them. Like, I feel like Daniel Penny kind of did the same thing. Like, there's no footage of him talking about how he's an anti-racist or he's so sorry, blah blah blah. Like, he's just standing on his shit.
Yeah, you definitely wanna. Yeah.
After this, I don't think he'll ever take the subway. He'll stay away from these fuckers. He's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if he beats this, man, he needs to move. Fuck,
He needs to be an advocate or something.
Move to Middle America. Move to a town with your people, where your people are.
Yeah,
you know
Montana.
Yeah.
You can't. You'll never be good. In a sun bastion.
Chicago police have released video of a person of interest in a deadly shooting in Lincoln Park. Happened last Wednesday.
Wow, that's a whole. Is this a glider? That's a whole glider. Yo, God, dog. You're a bad glider, man. Shooting up Chicago, man.
Damn, that's a Dustin right there.
Yeah, that's a whole glider.
Lincoln Park happened last Wednesday afternoon in the 2400 block of North Clark. Police say the suspect approached a group on the sidewalk. A fight broke out and a 34-year-old man was shot. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. If you can identify that person of interest.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
You know, they got
aim. So Daniel Penny choked this motherfucker dead. No one would care.
Damn.
Nope.
He pulled up, stepped on something. Crazy.
Yeah, man.
I ain't know Gliders was moving. Like, you see how he like was walking up and shit. He was ready to step on something.
Yeah, man. That dude was moving crazy.
God,
he got one shot. He was out. He's like, all right, I got it. I'm out.
Yeah, kill shot straight.
Jesus. Wait, he only shot one. He only shot one time.
We think so, yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. It is a glider.
Yeah, gliders, man. They get it cracking on the efficient tip, man.
Yo, gliders got that fucking they got that fucking Jokic efficiency, bro.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna kill someone, do you really need 30 bullets? I mean, apparently some people do, but
Yeah, no, some people need fucking. They need They need 2 30-round dicks, fucking 5 switches to hit one eye.
Yeah, man. We're inefficient, man. We're inefficient. Let's see.
Or sons that hop out the car to kill one eye. Stupid ass shit.
Convicted crime boss Michael Miskey is dead. Circumstances are not yet known, but the 50-year-old was found deceased this morning at Honolulu's Federal Detention Center. What happens next?
Crime boss Michael.
Oh yeah.
What family
Well, that's a burrito.
This is Honolulu.
Oh shit.
He's probably mixed up like some kind of white Japanese.
I think he's just Eastern European, something like that.
Center. What happens next remains to be seen in the sprawling criminal and multi-million-dollar forfeiture case that was Hawaii's biggest trial in decades. Miskey was found guilty in July of racketeering conspiracy and 11.
He's a glider. I still think, you said Eastern European, yeah, it's something in there.
Maybe like Eurasian, something like that.
His name ends with an OV.
What's that? His name Miskey. Where's that name from?
Miskey. That's some different shit.
Let me see. It says
like he's Polish or Slavic or maybe like
Sorbian, Slovak, and Czech.
Yeah.
Hungary is that area. It says
east of Germany, basically.
Slavic pet form of old Slavic personal name. Yeah, he's from over that side of the world. Yeah, Eastern European.
Yeah, he a real deal glider, bro.
Yeah, he holds a lot of
Serbian. July of racketeering conspiracy and 11 other felony charges and murder in connection with the disappearance and presumed death of Jonathan Frazier, a friend of his deceased son, Caleb, who died in a vehicle accident that Frazier survived.
It was certainly an astounding verdict that came from the jury after listening to months and months of testimony and evidence.
Miskey was awaiting sentencing in January and was in detention at Honolulu's federal prison meanwhile. Honolulu EMS initially responded to a medical emergency call at 9:18 Sunday morning and was there nearly an hour. The medical examiner's staff, which handles death cases, took over after that. From the time of the original charges in 2019, Miskey faced assurance of dying in prison if convicted.
What the prosecution was doing is we do know that they were seeking a death penalty early on in this case. And as it turns out, that's not what ended up happening. It's not what ended up going forward. However, when the jury found Michael Miskey guilty of all these different offenses, including murder and racketeering and conspiracy, it did require a life sentence.
So what happens next? A spokesperson for the federal court in Honolulu said it has not been determined how Miskey's death impacts other aspects of his case, such as more than $20 million in property and asset forfeitures, and for related party sentencing for a long list of co-defendants who mostly took plea deals or were separately convicted and are awaiting rulings on their own fate.
I think they're all going to be looking at the agreements that they made with the prosecution if they did make some sort of agreement. So if there was some sort of sentencing guideline that was going to be reduced because of their cooperation with the prosecution, that might need to be reevaluated.
Among the former co-defendants, Miskie's daughter-in-law, Delio Fabro Miskey, who had been Caleb Miskie's wife and mother of their only child. She was also involved in various roles at Michael Miskie's businesses that were targeted for seizure. She reached a plea deal and cooperation agreement with the feds last January and was awaiting sentencing herself. So what happens to tens of millions in seized assets that a jury determined to be ill-gotten gains?
I'm sure the prosecution is going to be trying very hard to make sure that the fact that the jury found Mr. Miskey guilty means that they can be able to still go forward and seize the assets. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of very strong arguments for why they can do something like that.
We've reached out to Miskie's attorneys and his family for comment and to hear more of what they know or want to know about the circumstances surrounding Miskie's death.
We would all expect that the Federal Detention Center would be operating all of their facilities at the highest levels, and that they would be taking care of all of their prisoners. I think what the attorneys for Mr. Miskie's estate will probably be asking about is just wanting to know what happened. They'd want to know if they'd want to make sure that there was a full-blown investigation into this, and then they'd be able to evaluate where things go from there.
Public record in a case involving a former Miskey associate turned witness describes retaliation and assault behind bars so extensive it required several moves and even solitary confinement. It's not known if Miskey was a victim or a suspected aggressor at the Honolulu facility.
Without question, prison is not a good place for people who've been involved in a lot of different criminal activities because they were part of a network outside. Once they're inside, that's a whole different ballgame. And there may be a lot of factors that I think the people in the facility have to really watch out for.
Well, an Oklahoma City teacher was arrested this week. Kiara Smith works at John Marshall Enterprise Middle School. Right now, she's on paid leave, facing allegations of aggravated assault and battery after, quote, horseplay in the classroom sent a student to the hospital. News 4's Natalie Clydes.
Oh, yeah, we did that.
Look at that sister.
Fooling around.
Yeah, horseplay.
You think she's a lesbian?
Is she lesbian? No. She probably not. She's just a rough sister, man. You could call her to come meet your baby mama.
Oh, one of them baby D type bitches.
Yeah, you just gotta handle her.
On Fox tonight, a possible new lead in the shooting death of a Portland area man this past summer.
50-year-old Lorenzo Miranda was killed outside a grocery store in Southeast Portland back in August. Fox 12's Dylan Scott joins us in studio with the latest on a potential break in this case.
Peter Riel, that's right, and good evening. Portland police are asking for help in identifying the man in these photos considered to be a person of interest in this case we're talking about. Now, after 3.5 months, the family told us at a vigil in Lorenzo Miranda's honor tonight, they hope it brings needed justice.
That'd be the best Christmas gift of all. Yeah. Fighting my brother's killer.
Standing together, the family of Lorenzo Miranda continues to keep his memory alive as they fight to bring to justice the person who took his life.
And we can't have closure unless we find the person. And I know there's a lot of people out there that knows what happened. If they just could go out there and just speak up. Just speak up. Don't be scared.
For months, his sisters, sons, and other family members say the case went cold. Little to no updates on the shooting which happened outside this grocery outlet at Southeast 122nd and Division Street in the Powerhurst Gilbert neighborhood.
He did this over a bicycle in broad daylight in a very busy parking lot. With not even scared. Shot him in the back and then walked off.
Yeah.
Didn't run, walked off.
That was until this week when Portland police released this photo of a person of interest.
Oh, shit. That looked like a fucking slum, man.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a gory for sure.
Shit.
Reeling over the loss of a beloved family man.
He's a very loving, caring young man. He just turned 50 in March, and I hate that this happened to him because he had plans.
He always thought about other people.
That's who he was.
Yeah, that's who he was.
Loved ones holding on to hope for justice while trying to move forward in the aftermath of this senseless crime.
The day before this happened, he was over there promising my 6-year-old that he was going to take him on a bike ride, and my son still asks today when Papa's going to take me on my ride. Like, he doesn't understand that he's not here anymore.
I go to see him every weekend, and when I do see the headstone, it's not there yet. So I'm like, well, he's not ready to get laid to rest because there's no one out there yet. There's no one being arrested.
Oh, this nigga look like a
Again, Portland police.
Aztec, bro.
The death penalty.
That's an OG Aztec, bro.
An 18-year-old who
John
was sentenced to
Redcorn
life
had
in
a
prison this week for the rape and murder of a 13-year-old girl may be eligible to leave prison in less than a decade.
That's because he was only 16 at the time of the murder, leaving him under the protection of Oregon state law. And this is drawing criticism from Washington County prosecutors. Fox 12's Julia Lopez joins us live outside the courthouse with the details. Julia?
Well, Pete, Nora, this is unprecedented. I'm told this is the first time these protections passed in 2019 have applied to a case so severe. In fact, a prosecutor tells me that the judge himself was surprised by its implications. And now he says a violent offender is not getting the sentence he deserves.
He should serve the rest of his life in prison based on the crimes he committed.
But Daniel Gore may not. The 18-year-old is convicted for the 2022 murder and rape of 13-year-old Milana Lee in the Murray Hill neighborhood of Beaverton. Authorities say he lured her into a wooded area where he, quote, brutally assaulted her and left her body in a creek. Gore was 16 at the time, but was found fit to be tried in adult court given the severity of the crimes. Nonetheless, Senior Deputy District Attorney for Washington County, John Gerhard, who prosecuted Gore's case, explains he benefits from a law passed in 2019.
I indicated to the judge that the court should not give Daniel Gore any additional breaks in the sentence because he is already going to get more than what he deserves.
Senate Bill 1008 passed as protection for minors convicted as adults. It does two things. Even though the judge imposed the maximum sentence of life in prison with parole eligibility after 30 years, Gore is eligible for parole after 15 years. He's already served 2, so he has 13 years left. Bill 1008 also allows a second look in which juvenile offenders can go back to a judge and ask to serve prison time under conditional release. Gerhard says this could put Gore back in the community in as soon as 7.5 years.
This case is a horrific crime that occurred to a 13-year-old girl. It is not the situation where such leniency should be granted to a defendant who has been found to have the adult-like sophistication and maturity of an adult.
In court, prosecutors called Gore a wolf in sheep's clothing who should be facing an adult sentence.
And there are certainly cases.
Wow. White boy got off because he white. That's all black people going to say when they see that. It's because you white. If you black,
well, what's what's your opinion on this? When I look at like this type of shit where people basically nothing really happens to them after doing these terrible crimes, like in my mind, if it was just a glider civilization, we wouldn't have these like lenient types of laws passed that in my mind are just really meant to like low-key accommodate some people.
Right, I agree. You would have your constitution would be like, it would make sense. Like all the laws and everything doesn't make sense with sons. So it has to be adjusted for sons. Like 800 murders in one city, and then 800 murders in that same city the next year, and then 750 the year after that, 300, and then that's just one of hundreds of cities that have that same per capita rate. You can't, prisons, the federal prisons, you wouldn't need private prisons. The federal prison would be enough.
I think so too.
You could store all your inmates in the federal prison system. You wouldn't need a private prison.
I think like as a multiracial society though, like we're just not, there's a certain limit where, and we see this in affirmative action too, right? Where there's just like a certain limit where if something is so disproportionate, it just becomes unconscionable for some reason. So if there's just too many black people in prison, or just basically none of them at like, you know, elite colleges, then like you have to start putting your thumb on the scale, or else, I don't know, society just gets at risk of having a civil strife or whatever. But like, I truly feel if it was just a glider civilization, like we wouldn't have these men at all
white
rotting in
liberals are
prison.
gliders. White liberals are gliders. I think that's what you're talking about. White liberals are gliders.
Yeah.
So I don't think that you could necessarily not have some of that stuff where you're talking about, because white liberals are gliders and they would be there whether black people were there or not, as long as they would use some other identity group. They would use the gays, they would use handicapped people, or they would probably, you know, use maybe a certain type of glider, like we just saw, the Eastern European. They would say, okay, you wasp are racist towards the Eastern European. You know what I mean? Like, they would always play the same book, but they would just use a different people if there was no other groups around.
Right. Well, okay. But do you really think that like we would get just the crazy support we have for some people that could be applied to, I don't know, gay gliders or gliders in wheelchairs, or like, I don't think that's really possible.
Well, the
liberals been around for
playbook,
years, man.
Yeah, the playbook is their playbook. Like the liberal gliders, their playbook is pretty simple, man. Like, you shame people, you ask for something inconsequential, relatively inconsequential, and then you just keep asking for more shit until you push it so far to the left that nobody can talk because they've been censored. And then they almost had this country, like literally, like they almost had it. Kamala was talking about censorship.
Yeah.
Heavy.
Yeah, I didn't think Trump was going to win, but he did. I didn't think he would.
Yeah. They were going to start censoring the Rogans, the people on the right. They were going to start censoring them, like punishing them for misinformation. When they started talking about misinformation again and all this shit, and like, we dodged the bullet as a country.
Big time.
They're going to look back on this time and it's going to be like, yo, this generation.
Hey, what if Elon ends up buying MSNBC? What do you think
Elon
kind of
buys
shift that we'll have?
Yeah. If he buys MSNBC, I would love to see what he's going to do with it, because here's the thing. Fox is so far to the left now, like for Republicans. Fox is that they're not conservative anymore.
No.
So,
but neither is the Trump administration.
No doubt. No, I got you. The Trump administration is very conservative, but it's not like far right. But what I'm saying is that you do need a right leaning channel, like not one Republican on the panel. You need a channel that is to the right to balance off the other channel. So you do need that. Yeah. So I would like to see him do that if he could, because that would help greatly. Yeah, that would help greatly if there was a right leaning channel. Yeah, if there was a right leaning channel, because Fox, man, I watch Fox. You know what I'm saying? I actually watch it sometimes, and they're not conservative. They're not conservative.
No, they're not. They're a little entertaining though.
Yeah, no doubt. They're very entertaining. But what I'm saying is that, like, the Fox of 20 years ago with O'Reilly.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? When he was the big man over there, and Rush Limbaugh and all that stuff. The Fox of 20 years ago, this Fox is a kind of gentler.
Yeah.
This is a kind of gentler Fox.
Yeah.
And
hey, the only guy that we have left for that is goddamn, I already forgot his name. The squinty-eyed white dude that be with the Democrats. I forget his name. It'll come back to me. But all he does is talk shit. Stick it up your ass.
Yeah,
Forget his
but
name.
this is
He was in
this
Clinton's administration.
this version of Fox is not conservative. So yeah, conservatives need a channel. You need a channel you can go to that's pro Trump, because eventually all the all the media being against him and constantly, you know what I'm saying, badgering him and bashing him. There's only so much eye rolling you can do. There's only so many YouTube videos you can make about clowning the bitches on the View.
Yeah.
To where they start to, plant their seeds. You say a lie long enough, it becomes the truth. And that's what the Democrats are doing now. They're saying the lie. They've begun to say the lie. And if they say it long enough, it does become the truth. So you do have to kind of have a counterbalance to what they're doing online. I see every day Democrats, we say, oh, they haven't learned. Maybe they have learned. Maybe they know, okay, we got to go into this mode. Tell the lie over and over and over again. We control all the channels. We control Hollywood. We control most of social media. Start telling the lie. Tell the lie, tell the lie, tell the lie till it becomes the truth. And, while we're over here giggling at them, in 4 years, they can convince enough people to vote for them.
Yeah. And then the worst part is they don't even tell a lie. They tell the truth. They just misinterpret the truth and redirect it on their adversaries. So they're telling what they're doing, but they're saying that the
Yeah,
adversary is
projecting.
doing it. It's complete
Yeah.
mind control.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Like, I mean, I see a lot of people giggling at them, laughing at them, making fun of how silly the Democrats are. Yeah, they're silly, but I mean, they have hardliners. Where outside of Trump's cabinet, where are the Republican hardliners?
There are none.
There are no Republican hardliners on TV. In politics, there
Oh
are
my
none.
God. You know who the Republican hardliners? Oh, this is so pathetic. It's Ben Shapiro. It's
Yeah, but those people don't count.
TPUSA.
Those people don't count.
Juice Crew.
And listen, you got to be on TV. Like they try to say that the internet's taking over. No, TV is still the main way people get their news. But all the YouTubers, what they do is react to TV. So
Yeah.
it's you gotta get somebody on TV, hardliners on TV.
When you say hardline, you mean like Nick Fuentes?
What I'm talking about is like how Joy Reid and Sonny Hostin do, where it's fuck you. I'm with the Republican. I'm with the Democrats. Everything y'all just do is wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, here goes a Democrat who did something wrong. No, here I'm gonna explain it away boldly and loudly. And every time a Republican says something, I disagree boldly and loudly. And I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it.
I
That's
think
a
he called
hard.
them
Joy Reid
pundits.
is a hardliner. Sonny Hostin is a hardliner. AOC is a hardliner. Corey Bush is a hardliner. All those Elon Omar's a hardliner. You know what I'm saying? These people, they don't care. They're riding with the Democrat, even if they gotta look stupid, lying away facts, explaining away facts, making excuses. They don't care.
They back everything. They don't disavow anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they push. They're pushers of the line.
Yeah,
line.
that's a hardliner. We don't have that. There's no Republican like that.
Yeah. Maybe Tucker Carlson might be the closest thing.
Trump is the only one.
Huh?
Vance.
Trump is the only one.
He's probably pretty. He's pretty sharp.
Yeah, he is sharp. I mean,
you don't have to be smart. A hardliner doesn't.
Well, Candace Owens, she's there. She's definitely.
Yeah, Candace Owens is not on TV though.
Oh, right. I forget.
Candace Owens is not on TV. Candace Owens needs to get a TV show.
I think that she might. I
that's all you
think
need to know.
that's in the works. I know you heard that rumor not years ago, but months ago, how she was supposed to be on. They were saying that there's rumors that she was going to be on The View, and I was thinking to
It was
myself,
supposed to be her, Megan Kelly, or something like that.
yeah. So it's like when they leak things like that, you kind of
Candace
know
on
there's
The View, she would have
not
to
on The
tone
View,
it
but
down.
just being mainstream TV type stuff.
They should have a conservative view, a conservative version of The View, because I don't
They
like her
really
going
should.
on The View.
Yeah,
I wouldn't
that'd be
like her going on.
strong.
They would bully her. They would bully her on The View.
Oh,
I want her, even though she
Candace,
don't take no shit. Even though she don't take
yeah,
no shit. But what I'm saying is that they would talk over her. They would,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It would be, they would bully her. Like those
I think
girls are
she can
professional
handle.
bullies.
I think she can handle herself in front of, like maybe like a Jasmine Crockett might be able to sit here and bully her because she'll like probably threaten to fight her. But if we're talking
No,
about,
I'm talking about the blackness and all that stuff. The you ain't black enough, or the
oh
well,
Yeah,
you
they
can
gonna
take
call it. They
yourself.
gonna call her a tubby.
yeah, man,
Yeah,
Candace wants to fight. She lives for the fight.
They gonna be like, ain't you like Caribbean descent? What gives you the right to speak on American black people? They gonna figure out some dumbass angle to try to
she got a
discredit.
white husband.
Yeah, oh yeah, they gonna. It's gonna be some weird ass angle to try to.
Yeah,
Basically,
Nothing's
it's
off
gonna be like,
limits.
just you don't have the right to speak about black people.
yeah, I know. I just believe that. I just believe that she welcomes that. I don't know. I mean, some people
No,
want it.
she's a fighter. I'm not saying the lady's not tough. I think she's tough. What I'm saying is that those are old bullies. Those are like Joy Behar and Sonny. Those
Right.
broads are old, seasoned bullies, and they have all the power behind them. Like they would, basically, Candace would literally have to sometimes agree with them just
Yeah.
to keep it, just so the show could go for. She would have to take a softer tone. She wouldn't be able
Yeah.
to be as hard as she is.
Yeah.
She would have to water it down.
Aren't
And
one
and
aren't one
she
of those bitches conservative on the View?
Exactly. You can't tell. The fact that you can't tell
it's like on
John
paper.
McCain's daughter, and the other beautiful brown haired girl, white girl.
Yeah, they all
Those
voted for
two are the
Kamala.
conservative.
They all voted for Kamala.
Yeah, they all voted for Kamala, and they very rarely ever
But
say something that's not woke.
I'm gonna keep it a
Yeah.
buck. You ain't gonna be able to get your shit off with a Big Mama whoopee on the panel, bro.
I
Yeah,
They
she'll
gonna
I
stomp
think
on
that
your
if
they
ass.
gonna
I,
shut that shit down, bro.
I think as long as Candace plays that role as like that kind of like a feminine role and taking like a back seat all the time and wait for the microphone to be on her, then she'll probably be
Yep.
all right.
Bro, she
You
not
know.
gonna last, bro. They gonna be like, yo, we can't work with her. She's too extreme.
Yeah,
Yeah. Those
they're
ratings got to go
hardline.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
those ratings got
hardline.
to go down.
But I
So
will say this.
you see what happened with when Just Pearly things tried to do her little thing with them nappy headed hoes. It
Oh,
was
which time? She did that all the
they had
time.
that they had that curly semi straight headed hoe Brittany Runner. She was on there turned up on Pearl like the first episode, got her the fuck out of there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I
that's what I'm
mean,
saying. Bully her.
Brittany
And
Renner,
Pearly
she
thing
kind of,
Pearly thing is very adept at that game. And if she got ran out of there after one show, like I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
Pearly was like debating bitches. That
yeah,
was her thing, like debating these bitches all day for hours and hours, telling them they
I
gonna
always
die
liked it for
alone and they
such a
need like
fool's
3 dogs
errand.
to retire. And they
Yeah,
got her the fuck out of there like expeditiously.
I think Pearlie needs to work on like getting a husband and all that shit before she wants to sit here and browbeat a bunch of whores anyway.
yeah.
I
She
mean,
got a
she
lot of
trying to
money.
find one, but black men don't get married, bro. She
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
she like niggas, bro. Niggas don't marry people. She
yeah.
gonna she
Well,
gonna be a
well,
single mom, bro. That's If she keep trying to fuck with these niggas, no, that's her preference. She
Oh,
would
she
end
got
up with a goddamn
she don't got no
Melungeon.
kid, right? She don't got no kid,
Um,
right?
but she said, she preferred black men. She want a Melungeon baby, bro.
Yeah.
Salute the Mayo Monkey, man. Ock Nation, Mount Rushmore, man, in the building. Mayo Monkey, man. We gotta get Mayo Monkey up on the panel again sometime soon, man. I seen Brown Sugar in the chat the other day when I dropped the premiere. Brown Sugar
Brown Sugar, come
Brown
back.
Sugar is alive, y'all. I saw her in the chat
Nice.
the other day.
It's good to
I
hear.
was like, yeah, she lives, man.
Yeah, man. Like I'm they could do something on like Fox Soul, bro.
Fox Soul, man. This shit, man, get that. Fox Soul is for a
Yeah.
bunch of homosexuals. It's for
Yeah,
homosexuals and sickos.
I knew Fox wasn't conservative when I seen Fox Soul. I was like, man, what the hell going? They got these niggas talking about
Fox
white
Soul, that's like
supremacy on Fox.
it's like VH1.
Oh no.
Got these niggas out here complaining about racism on Fox. What the fuck going on, bro?
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Oh, it's so disappointing.
How we
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
panel?
You ain't never seen Fox Soul?
Yeah,
What's
you
up?
gotta look this.
Hold on. What's up, bro? What's your thoughts, man?
I'm just enjoying the show, but I put a message in the back chat. It's just a short video that I've been recommending about that Frank Zanu guy. It's quite
Yeah,
hilarious.
we watched it earlier. We watched.
No,
some
you
of
watched
him
the wrong
earlier.
one. That's the wrong one.
Oh.
He's got many videos. You got to watch the Nancy one because it talks about white supremacy, and he explains that the blacks came up with the term, not the whites. It's actually really funny. So
I think Mayo Monkey in the back too, though.
Oh, Mayo Monkey in the back.
I think so.
I put the short in the back. It's only like a minute 30 instead of watching the 30-minute video.
Okay, I got you. What's up, Mayo Monkey? What's happening,
What's
man?
up, man? How you doing?
Everything's cool, man. What's up with you, man? How you been,
Looks
man?
like pretty good, man. Pretty good. Settling into
You
winter.
you have you had any adventures lately, man?
Oh, nothing good. I'm still in Kansas, unfortunately.
Oh
I
yeah.
should solve that by spring.
Oh yeah. Have you been watching the show?
Oh yeah. And the news and everything else. It's
What do you think about the election? Did you think he had a chance to win, or were you?
oh yeah. I knew that bull crap with Kamala and everybody supporting her was crap from the start. That was all media generated.
Come on, man. Let's put it right.
Yeah. Yeah, you never fell for it.
No, sir, not at all.
Wow.
And
now,
and I knew that 50% of black men wouldn't vote for Trump. I mean,
So
I'm
tell
glad
me
we got
this.
21%, but I knew we weren't going to get nowhere near half.
How are white people acting out in your parts? Are they sticking their chest out more?
No, man, they're just going to work like they normally do. One thing I've definitely found that YouTube is a different world than the real world.
Oh yeah.
In most places, most people. I mean, if they were smart, they'd concentrate more on local politics because that stuff affects them a lot more than federal. All the tranny stuff, all that got pushed in local.
Yeah, no doubt.
Tommies and weirdos on the school boards and all that.
Wow.
Any adult that wants to approach your kids or have anything to do with your kids, always look at them sideways. Because something ain't right about them.
Facts.
Yeah. You see Tiffany Henyard got yeeted?
I mean,
tonight?
she can still write in. She can still be a write-in candidate. But yeah, it's not.
I don't think she can be in the because the supervisor slot. Because they also made the rule that you can't hold two positions at once.
Oh wow!
You can only hold one elected position at once within the
Her
district.
reign is over.
That's so racist.
And as the supervisor goes, yeah, it's so racist. A black man did it. Because it was the black man that's running against her. He's the head of the Democrat Party in the area.
That lady was terrorizing that city, man.
Oh yeah,
straight super villain.
Yeah, something else, man.
What I realized, I think, like Fannie Willis, right? She's crooked as, as a dog's leg. And I think that they just assume that the white people that did it before them did the same shit.
Yeah. Of course,
So,
I mean, that's all they've grown up hearing is how crooked white people are and how racist and how evil. Yeah, most black people who don't know white people don't move in white spaces think that white people are bad people inherently. And when it comes to politics and when it comes to like management and shit like that, they think they're abusive of power. They think they're corrupt and all that stuff. But they also think that like there's more crime in white areas than there actually is. You know what I'm saying? They have a very, very low view of you guys, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I talked to a guy from New York, black dude, born and raised there. He's only lived outside of New York, I think, less than a year, twice in his life. He's in his 40s. He thinks every place is like New York.
Yeah.
Like if he moves to, Cottonwood, Iowa, he's gonna run into racism.
New York
And
City
the Klan's still burning crosses in people's yards and shit.
Yeah, they
you can't help people
never
like that,
see
man.
that stuff too. That's the thing about it. Like they never see that stuff, but they hear about everything being racist. So like if you're a black guy and a white guy's mean to you, if you go into Starbucks and the cashier messes up your fucking latte, that's racism. So they hear about racism all the time from black people. You know what I'm saying? Instances of racism, especially in TV and shit. So they hear about all this racism because everything is racism.
The thing I noticed, right, when you get down and ask them, right, other than maybe hearing the N-word occasionally,
they never hear the
N-word.
White people. White people never walk up on black people saying N-word. It never happens.
No.
White people never walk, hey nigger, like that never happens. In New York City, no white person is going to be angrily say the N-word at a black person.
People don't even know people that know people that's happened to. Like,
Oh, but because you ask them about racism and you ask them if they've ever had anything done to them, and it's no, but I've heard.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's the lie.
Yeah.
No,
but I was told this. I saw this on the news. Like when that little black girl cut her own locks in that school in Virginia.
Yeah.
You never saw the story of where they had the video of her doing it to herself in the schoolyard. You just heard the initial story that two white kids cut this girl's hair at school.
And that's all most people will remember because everybody doesn't see every story and follow everything like we do here. So the people who heard the original story, they think like, oh shit, there's a school in Virginia where a black girl got held down by some white kids and they cut her hair, cut her dreads off, and that's it. And that's what they think of. That's an incident that happened. You know what I mean? It happened. That happened.
Basically, a modern day lynching.
Yeah.
You know, Kyle Rittenhouse still shot black people.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
I'd say about 50% still believe that. 50%
man,
still believe.
I would say 90% because
Yeah.
remember we're not on YouTube, just in the real world. Now I would
Yeah.
say 90%. I would say 50%
Oh, yeah.
of people on YouTube, black people on YouTube probably still think that.
Yeah.
But like black people are not like into research. Like we into like whoever's like just jive talking and stuff like that. Like when I used to be like in the community and whatnot, we would just sit around and argue and debate things and get loud and stuff like that, and no one actually knew what they were talking about. Like, no, the smartest dude would be like some dude who went to jail and he became a Muslim and he read a couple books, or some nigga that you know what I'm saying, pseudo intellectual and shit. But it wasn't really, nobody ever knew what they were talking about in our little like debates and shit like that. No one.
Yeah, and anybody that brings up facts winds up being goofy.
Yeah, I mean the facts
You know?
are the facts. It's like almost like it's like a dance, playing a game. We're gonna keep it on this level. Once you take it to a certain level, like yeah, like once you take shit to like facts, and I read this book and shit. Like one thing I always notice is that some people, when they're debating, when they're arguing, their anecdotal evidence, their evidence is always a movie. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, and they reference movies quite often.
They
like they
reference
really
movies.
happen. Yep.
Exactly. As if that was, and not the book, because you know the movie is nothing like the book.
Yeah.
And they reference the movie, and that just lets you know like where they're at when they reference movies.
Oh, even the Breonna Taylor case. You know, you did 10 stories on that, breaking that down.
More than
And
that.
people still believe that that they had the wrong house.
Yeah.
That she
the
was
cop
like
shot for no
assassinated.
reason. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, I got 1 million views on all those videos on that series.
Yeah.
1 million views, and it's buried. YouTube buried it, but yeah, everybody who has told me about that, they said that they liked it. And there was stuff they had never seen before, and
Yep.
never about that case. So that's why
that
they
was
buried
brilliant.
it.
I mean, that whole breakdown was brilliant.
Yeah, that's why they buried it. That's they had. That's why if you type in the title, it doesn't come up. If you type in Ock Nation and the title, you got to type in the name of the channel and the fucking title for it to come up.
Yep. Oh yeah, and this latest case in South Carolina, the lynching, where the dude went and bought the rope himself.
Yeah,
on
That was
camera.
North Carolina.
And yeah, I think that, you know, I mean, honestly, I think he was trying that autoerotic asphyxiation shit, or trying to off himself.
I think he just wanted to kill himself because he gave a homeless man $220
Yeah.
right before he did the shit. And the Sun Man,
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah, not known for being very altruistic to homeless people.
That altruistic. Some man to give a homeless person some money, but not $220.
No, especially somebody who worked for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that right there, so many people believe that he was still lynched.
Oh yeah. Oh, that guy that disappeared in Mississippi.
Yeah.
That the hogs ran through.
Yeah. He was high off some kind of drug and he was in the woods and he called his parents, and then he says the white people was chasing him and shit. Yeah. That guy, He was lynched. Like all these are lynchings. So if you're a black person and you just like a numbskull and shit, there's been like 20 lynchings over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I mean, and they believe it, boy. Man. What was that case down in Mississippi, the shooting? And the kid clearly had a gun. Oh, what was that case? Something with a
You
J.
said that where?
Laquan McDonald?
That's Chicago.
No.
You said in Chicago?
No, in Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I
It was like right in front of a dollar store.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was Biloxi.
Jakari something.
Was that Biloxi? That was Biloxi, Mississippi. Oh yeah, Mississippi. Yeah, Biloxi, Mississippi. Yeah. Yeah, they were pointing guns at cars, and the cop rolled up, and he pointed the gun at the cop, and the cop shot him, and the kid died. Yeah, I remember that case. Yeah,
And Mississippi, didn't. And I gotta fault some of these departments for not releasing the body camera footage early enough. Because they need, if you ask me, they need to get that shit put out within 24 hours.
I don't like that because you know what I'm saying. I don't like that body cam shit. Motherfucking every time some fucking shit happen, every time some Negro got a problem with something, no, motherfucker, we'll release it certain times or we ain't no. I'm tired of that. Every time we demand answers.
But the body cam footage proves everything we're saying is true. It's
No, but what I'm saying
double-edged
is
sword,
that,
so to speak.
but you got to also understand the precedent is set, like where it's like where us just demanding stuff all the time and getting it is not good. It's not. It doesn't work the way you think it works. It doesn't placate us. It just makes us want more. We never gonna stop going like it. Okay, they give you the body cam. The nigga grabbed the cop's gun, and the cop had grabbed it back and shot him. Right?
Yeah.
They're gonna edit.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean he had the gun back. He didn't have to shoot him because once he grabbed the gun back, Tchaikovsky wasn't his threat no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter. The only time the body cam is relevant is in court, but in the they still gonna like listen. The girl who threw the pot of boiling water, when they saw
the
exposed
old
that
lady.
she threw the pot of boiling water, they were like, well, she couldn't have hit him from that distance. She
Was
couldn't
that
hit him from
Sandra?
that
Sandra Blassie?
Yeah, Massey, yeah, and I burnt myself during when I was covering that story, man. And listen, man, that hot water is a fucking weapon. Fuck, man, hot water is a weapon.
Oh yeah, it can be used as such. And man, somebody says that phrase to me out of the Bible, I'm gonna look at them sideways too.
Yeah, hot water is a weapon, man. I didn't believe that before. But I'm a believer now, man. Hot water is a dangerous weapon, man.
Oh yeah.
It's like acid. It's like if you take a boiling water and throw it in somebody's face, man, their shit is
you change their life forever. Yep.
Yeah,
you change their life
for life.
forever.
For life. Yeah. So yeah, I'm just glad I spilled that shit on my stomach, man, and not on my shit, not on my dick and shit. Cause that shit was like right. Yeah, man. No bullshit, man. No bullshit.
What do you think is gonna happen with the Daniel Penny case?
The like
Subway Strangler.
I think he gets 8 years, something like that.
Jesus. Has the verdict come in?
What about a Trump pardon?
Okay.
Tomorrow.
Trump pardoned 4 years though. It's not going to be Trump's going to pardon him on the way out. So yeah,
He
he
can't. He
got to
can't.
spend
It's a
it
state
for.
charge. Trump can. It's a state charge.
He can't.
No, he cannot. It's a state charge.
Oh, it's not a federal charge. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Daniel Penny, man, he's gonna get a chance to appeal. I think what may happen is they'll use this case to placate niggas. Like, hey, we made him guilty, and then down the line he'll do an appeal, and it'll
Overturn
be a
it.
small little overturn it, and the niggas won't care no more because they on to something new. You know what I'm saying? We on to something new. We don't even really notice.
It'd be interesting to see what the jury comes out with. See if New Yorkers are really tired of crime, or they just talking shit as usual.
Yeah, I mean,
They
that
love
jury, a
crime.
New York jury. God, a jury of New Yorkers. That's a woke crowd, bro.
Oh yeah.
That's
Oh
a
yeah.
woke
That's like a Southern Virginia jury or a DC jury. You ain't
Yeah,
walking
that's
away
just
from that.
yeah, that's a woke crowd. Like it, the black dude, like the black guy, like is like a deity, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
He-
especially since he was, a
He's a
Michael Jackson
demigod.
impersonator.
yeah, exactly.
They
Man.
act like he'd actually done that in the last, 12 years
Yeah, exactly.
instead of beating up old ladies on the subway for a living.
Right. I'm a black dude who grew up in liberal city, man, and I'm telling you, man. Those white people they won't send their kids to school with us. They terrified of us in dark alleys and shit, but they will defend us like to no end.
What?
That's
I
because
watched
they.
film of Penny walking into the trial today, into the courthouse today. There's all white people out there protesting, saying hang him.
Yep.
Every time.
What's wrong with y'all gliders, yo? Like, I don't stick together at all.
No, it's not. It's not how Europe works.
No, we need to let these liberal cities suffer from their decisions.
Yep.
But New York's never going to bring in somebody to fix it. They're never going to vote another Republican in. It's demographically impossible.
Yeah, but you gotta get a moderate Democrat. They just elected a cop, so they're moving towards the middle. They just elected
but
a cop as the man.
but is he really any better?
Listen,
No,
if
what
he
I'm
gets,
saying is he's a
if
cop.
Trump
He's still a
pardons
cop.
him, yeah, exactly. If Trump pardons him and he gets rid of those migrants, oh yeah, he gonna steer to the middle.
Yeah, well, the guy who's on his case, the guy who is prosecuting, he already left. He already resigned. The prosecutors prosecuting Diddy case and his case, they resigned. That black guy resigned. But it's going to be picked up by another prosecutor. But the guy who initially brought the case resigned. But yeah, like listen, New York, man, for them to elect a guy who's a police officer, who was a career police officer, that is big. That should have disqualified him during the 2020s. That should have
but
just
the same
automatically
people
disqualified.
voted in Bragg, who said
As
he's
mayor?
basically going to decriminalize criminals.
Yeah, no
Alvin
doubt.
Bragg.
They voted him in. Yeah, definitely, and they're gonna always do stuff like that. They're always gonna want woke DAs because that. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I think Sleewood did good too. Sleewood did good in the election too for a Republican. I think that New York has a chance. I mean, they have a chance to get a moderate Democrat instead of all far leftists. They get a chance to get a moderate Democrat because you went from De Blasio to a cop, and then maybe the next guy just have be like fully moderate. We don't know, but great show, guys, man. Any final thoughts, man?
Yeah, you were saying the gliders will go out of their way to defend the Sunmen. It's because they feel bad in the first place for being afraid of them, like you said before.
Maybe that is true.
Guilt.
Either that or DNA.
Yeah.
I think they've just been brainwashed in the schools, especially the younger ones. White people bad. That's all they've ever
Using
heard.
guilt.
Yep.
Same black time, same black channel. Out of here. Peace out.
Salute everybody.